Hey y'all, what's going on? Yeah, I didn't really spruce up the intro. That's the like I had part of that. It's like part of the video that I did that on all the funny moments from the trial thus far, which is before Amber Heard was on cross-exam, I think. Yeah. So I just decided to have some fun tonight because, quite frankly, I watched the trial this morning with everybody, and I mean, it had its moments. Let me say hi to you guys real quick though before I start doing anything else. Hey, Rhodey Gal, Sugar Beat, Molson Man. Good evening, cool cats and kittens. How you doing? Hi, Callie. Hey, DTC Primetime. Sarah Donald. Good to see ya. Amelia Sparkles. Hello. Hi, Callie. Good to see you. Hey, Max 2002. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's good to see all of you guys. Paula Walking. Hello, hello, hello. Don't think I missed anybody. Anaphylaxis. Hello. Hello, True Psych Ward, Dr. B. What's going on, girl? Hey, y'all. Hey. Yeah, what if any? All I did was just like from when I make the videos, I do them in parts and then I put them all together to make one longer video. And so that was the part. So I wanted to real quick show you guys something that Sarah sent me today. She sent me this tickety talk. And in this tickety talk, there was the makeup bruise kit that Amber Heard spoke about her testimony. So let me share my screen right quick. Oh, wait. I need to actually open this before I can pick it. Hold on. Give me just 1 second while it loads the TikToks.
Never left a bruise kit in one of the photos.
Okay. So let me push this all the way back. And all right. Let me show you guys this right quick. All right. Ready and go.
Amber left a bruise kit in one of the photos. The exact bruise kit Ben Nye bruise kit. These are the same colors.
I use a bruise kit. Not a bruise kit, it's a theater makeup kit.
Ember left a bruise kit in one of the photos. The exact bruise kit. Ben Nye bruise kit. These are the same colors.
I use a bruise kit. Not a bruise kit, it's a theater makeup kit.
Ember left a bruise kit in one of the...
All right, so I am not suggesting anything. What I'm saying is the Tickety Talks has been relentless in their pursuit of the truth. And if they find a discrepancy in the testimony, they be airing it. So, Amber, you've been warned. So that's that. And I want to what I want to do is not everybody was able to catch the testimony from this morning. I'm just going to go over a little bit before we get started because I really want Dr. B up here, and she just got off work and stuff. So we're just going to give her time to, decompress and chill out and everything. And then hey Paula, will you send that to me, please? And I'll share it if you have a moment. If you can't do it right now, no big deal. I can do it tomorrow. But anyway, so the day began with testimony from a hand surgeon. And I will say that when he was on direct, his testimony, I did find it to be compelling. However, any parts that I found to be compelling were then immediately destroyed by Cross. Oh, thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate that. Immediately destroyed on Cross by Camille, because he had testified that Johnny Depp's hand was like flat on the bar, right? And that the injury he could not have gotten that injury in the way that he described. That the doctor felt that it was more of like a pinch. And remember, Johnny Depp's initial story was that he had shut his finger in the accordion door. Well, the way that Camille dismantled that was to show pictures of the bar area and to point out that the finger was found in the bar area. And the only thing that I wish that she had done, if I had any criticism at all, which I just have a tiny little one, was I wish that she would have shown the jury where the accordion door is, what it looked like, and more importantly, where it was in relation to the bar, right? I wish that she would have done that. But the other thing that she pointed out, which was very, very important, is that his finger was not actually flat on the bar. It was actually hanging over the ledge. And I am curious if it's possible to sustain an injury like Johnny Depp's if she took the vodka bottle and didn't throw it but brought it down more like, like a hammer. And as he is watching her do this, he's reacting, right, and pulling away, which is why it caught it the way that it did. And there isn't as much damage to the fingernail and the fingernail bed, because it's really, if you're looking at your hands with the palms up, the damage is done to that side, the palm side. They call it palmar. I learned a new word today. The palmar side of the finger, leaving the fingernail bed and the fingernail itself completely without damage. So I thought that was very importante, and I thought it was very interesting. And now I'm going to download this photo that Miss Paula sent me. So sweet of her. Thank you so much, Paula. And then I'll upload it here to to the channel and you guys can see it. Oh, so a bit of news as far as who we can expect to be testifying. So basically, we can not expect Johnny Depp to testify, okay? But we can expect Kate Moss to testify. And I think this is just my opinion. I think the reason that they are not having Johnny Depp testify on rebuttal is because likely what he would be asked by Amber Heard's team on Cross is about his former attorney, Mr. Waldman. And see, Amber Heard, while she is the defendant, she's also a plaintiff simultaneously because of the counterclaim, right? So in order for her counterclaim to be successful, because her allegation essentially is that it was Mr. Waldman's statements that were defamatory, and that because Mr. Waldman is Johnny Depp's attorney, or was Johnny Depp's attorney at that time, then Johnny Depp he either authorized those statements, or he knew about them, but he is ultimately responsible. That is her contention. And I think that they're not going to have him as a rebuttal witness because, quite frankly, in my opinion, the defense at this point has not been successful in connecting the dots between Waldman's statements and Johnny Depp, and they have to. And so I think it's smart for Johnny Depp not to testify on rebuttal, because why should he? He doesn't need to. It likely won't help anything. In fact, it's more likely that it might hurt something, specifically if they get him on the stand and they get him talking about Mr. Waldman. So I think this is the best. Here's the Bruce kit. This is probably the best. This is the safest play, which I think is the best play. And I think this is the right way to go. And also, I'd like to point out that, in my opinion, I think where the defense has failed fundamentally is in their inability to connect the dots. Because I think of cases as like a connect the dot picture, right? And what they do is they start out with number one, right? And they make a line, but they never connect that line to number two. So all you have is a bunch of half-done lines that never actually connect to any dots, and so therefore the picture doesn't make any sense. And so, hey Smalls, hey Seth, good to see you guys both. And that's my point, or my issue and my contention with the defense thus far. And so at this point, I really feel like it's not advantageous really for Johnny Depp to get on the stand. However, it is incredibly advantageous for Johnny Depp to have Kate Moss come up on the stand, because Amber is the one that opened that door, and she was there. And the rumor is about her. So I want to hear what she has to say. And I think it's important. And I think it's important to, get an ex up there. And I highly doubt they would be calling her if they thought that she was going to testify to any incident of violence against her person. So I thought that was very interesting. Now, what we're going to do at this point is because not everybody was here and it's so good. We're going to start off with the cross examination of Dr. Spiegel. And I've been practicing all day to say his name because, well, I keep wanting to call him Dr. Schmeagol, like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings, like before Smeagol became Gollum. Well, Gollum is his because everybody knows Gollum has dissociative identity disorder, and so Gollum is really his alter, but the other part of him is still Smeagol. So yeah, that's yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna put it to this one, and I'm gonna skip ahead to the cross. Oh, come on. So yeah, I just I want you guys to see the cross examination because it's that good and outrageous. And frankly, hold on. Give me just a second because I want to hear it before I get there. Oh, I hear a little thunk. It's Dr. B. Holler, Dr. B.
Dunk, dunk, hello.
Hi, hi, hi.
Did I make it on time?
You made it perfect, babe. Just perfect.
All right. I've been in chat.
I saw you.
Mm-hmm. How's everyone doing? I caught a little bit today of the whatever we were watching, and yeah, it's right up my alley, so I can't wait.
Let me see something. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Heather, whatever.
Let me look.
Hi, Seth. How's it going?
Yes, please entertain the chat, would you, while I do what I should have been doing before?
For sure.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Why does my cam keep turning on by itself? That's so weird.
Dabook.
Dabook, get
It's
out of
Dabook.
here. I was prepared for you today. Not today, Saturn.
Not today, Satin. Not today.
Yes.
This oh, for Pete's sake, Jen Lou. Come on. Are you pretending today is your first day on how to work in the YouTubes? Come on.
Let's all take a deep breath.
Let me center myself.
Let's do some ASMR with Dr. B. Jen, everything is gonna be okay. The book has no power here, remember? We have a strand of Melanie Gibbs bangs. We're good.
We're safe. We're safe. Everything is fine.
Jesus got us.
He does.
Or whatever they called him. What did they call him?
Who? What did who call him? Jesus is the only name I know for him. I didn't know he had other names.
Girl, you know Lori called him something else.
Heavenly Father.
Because they were married and whatnot, so she gets to call him.
Oh, that's right. She had the special relationship with yeah.
That one.
Let me go back to where I was.
I don't know what you're looking for.
I just want to have the cross-examination, but Long Crime hasn't put it up yet. I'm just going to go through
yeah, just fast forward.
I'm just going to fast forward.
I mean no one's seen her since Saturday.
I think I need to sit down.
Yeah, I think so. So while Yeah, while Jen is going through that, we're gonna entertain you for a little bit.
Hey, my partner, he want to see the product.
When he talking?
My name is Jeff. It's Jefe, man.
Okay. Sorry, you said to entertain them.
Yes, entertain them.
Yep.
All right. Come on.
Melanie Gibb actually did not slide into Jesus's DMs, but she did, however, try to communicate via Lori Vallow's DMs.
Okay,
Max!
I found it. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to let you listen to a little bit of the direct examination, but I'm going to make it, hi Heather, whatever. I'm going to, and hello Ellie 79. I'm going to speed it up.
Okay.
And then at some point we're going to get to the cross-examination in that process.
Okay. I love it. We're just,
That's the plan. All right.
lean into the chaos.
Yes. I'm going to lean into the chaos. I'm going to embrace the chaos because I love chaos.
I'm your girl for chaos.
I know you are. That's why I'm glad you're up here. All right, here we go.
Well, let's do it.
Without giving the exact words that you recall.
Oh, without giving the
Go ahead,
exact words?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, without giving the exact words, it was basically.
Okay, can we
vulgar
just pause
language
already?
directed-
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
Can you just give me a brief intro into who this guy is and why he's testifying?
Okay. So this is Dr. Spiegel. He is
Okay.
board certified. He is a psychiatrist. He is a local psychiatrist there in Virginia.
Mhm.
He does both. He has an outpatient service, and then he also has he has permissions at the hospital. And so when anybody comes in with a psychiatric situation, he is there attending at the hospital.
Oh, so
Yeah.
okay.
So he does. The deal is with Dr. Not Mr. Sorry, Dr. Spiegel. Dr. Spiegel has a ton. He's very, very smart, and he's more than qualified. Okay.
Mhm.
The problem is that he
I
requested.
don't hear any. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. The problem is that, hey, not your mama.
Hey.
And Sugar Beet, I don't know if I said hi to you earlier or not, but okay. So anywho, he the problem is that he requested to evaluate my husband, Mr. Johnny Depp, and my husband,
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Johnny Depp, said no twice.
Not today.
Not today, Satan, and not today.
I
So
mean, I
he
wouldn't blame
is.
him.
I wouldn't either. So what he did was he took the evidence of record, and that is how he formed his opinions. He
Mhm.
looked at video depositions. He looked at listened to audio recordings, video recordings. He looked at doctors' records, like Dr. Kipper, the nurse
Okay.
Debbie. That is what he used.
So he had did he have access to both, or he only focused on Depp?
He only focused on Johnny
Okay.
Depp. He did not
Okay.
focus on Amber Heard. So that is the scope of the material that he was allowed to go over. And there is it's a little up in the air, and we'll wait until we get to
Mhm.
that part as to whether he used Pirates of the Caribbean as a reference point in
Oh.
evaluating. Also, what I can tell you, faux show, is he did not watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
A
And
big mistake.
correct. This is
You
where
cannot
you
you cannot
came in.
Exactly.
This is where you came in today.
You cannot complete a case study without watching Willy Wonka as well.
Correct. And I mean, you want to get a baseline for his cognitive reasoning.
Functioning.
Yeah, watch him as Captain Jack Sparrow, where it's, Johnny Depp and Keith Richards melded into one glorious personality.
Although I will say, without hearing any of this testimony, well, actually, no, I'll reserve my thoughts.
Okay. So I'm going to play it. Let me go ahead and turn this speed up.
Okay.
Because
Can I just really quickly?
Yes, you can do whatever you want.
I would like to make an announcement, please.
Please
Would
do.
Nacho Mama please give my nephew a big smooch? Thank you very much. Carry on.
Okay. And go.
Towards Dr. Cowan throughout multiple texts, multiple things that Dr. Cowan were doing in therapy. It was, like I said, it was without relaying the exact thing. I'm trying to be as accurate as I can. And I think at the end of it, I think he was also talking about that Dr. Cowan was filling Amber with positive thoughts or therapeutic.
Objection, hearsay.
I think he's keeping it more general. He's entitled to rely on it. Thank you.
So more along the line of giving Amber psychiatric jargon to put on him, and actually what I read and interpreted what Dr. Cowan's was getting blasted for was he was kind of.
If you want to look at a narcissist, he should have probably watched The Astronaut's Wife. That might have been a better film for him to watch about Johnny Depp if he's trying to point out narcissistic traits.
And for that, there were a lot of negativity.
Skyflash, we'll get back to it. You know how the ward
I have
is.
no problem with people being angry. Okay, none whatsoever. It's just expressing a continual ranting of it.
It's good that you don't have a problem with people being angry because, bruh, you can't control that.
It will all make sense after next weekend, Skyflash.
Yes, it will. Hey,
Objection
Jeanette.
beyond the scope of the question.
Oh, damn, I thought he was talking to me directly.
Me too. I was like,
58 years old. Are the behaviors that you have been describing for the jury
was
those
like-
typical and age-related?
No, so while I don't consider 58 years old, I'm 59. Okay, I will tell you that the
Okay.
age-related changes that occur in
Okay.
humans are very erratic, hit and miss. Meaning they'll occasionally be there. You may need a little bit more time to answer a question or pull things out of memory. Just a little bit slow and a lot more inconsistently slow. You wouldn't describe what Dr. Blaustein's changes were or what I saw in the deposition attributed to age.
Dr. Spiegel, what is Seroquel?
Well, I mean, I don't know
Seroquel
that you
or
can call
clozapine
that.
is actually an atypical antipsychotic, which is indicated for many things, including schizophrenia, bipolar disorder.
I can imagine it would be
adjunctive
really
treatment for
hard to
depression. So it's
do
indicated
a
for a lot.
really good comprehensive
what,
evaluation in
what
a
effects may it
situation
have?
they're
This is-
under
this is one of the
pressure.
drugs that
A
was-
deposition is a
Yes.
high pressure
Prescribed drug?
situation.
Absolutely.
So,
like, that's
what-
not
yeah,
a time
So the effect of
to
Seroquel
evaluate
is
someone's
it's very often
baseline
used as a
functioning
sleeping
I
aid
wouldn't
or
think.
because
or,
it doesn't have a lot of the side effects that
memory.
are associated with
Right.
conventional antipsychotics, movement disorders, tardive dyskinesia, et cetera. At least it's a very low risk of that. So people have used it off-label. Physicians have used it off-label to help them sleep. The problem is the effect is very barbiturate-like, and it really knocks people out, or certainly if you use it at high enough doses, it can. Okay. And the problem is it also has street value. So it's absolutely used on the street for that downer-like effect. And obviously it's a little bit more readily
Do we have a
available because it's
Seroquel
prescribed.
crisis on the
So-
streets
so it
that
does
I'm
have
not
that street
aware
value,
of?
unfortunately.
I can't think of a single
Dr.
time I've ever heard
Spiegel, what
news
effect would this
Oh my
have on
gosh.
Depp based on
talking
the
about
dosages he was taking?
stolen Seroquel that
think what
fell
you're
off the
looking
truck.
at
You know what I'm saying?
is a-
Objection and speculation.
Though I will look,
Please continue.
I'm not gonna
What you will
lie.
see in
I
patients who have
actually-
substance use disorders
have seen that
are people who
Seroquel is
unfortunately kind of
abused,
wake
believe
up
it
Like
or
in
not.
prison
fall asleep only
situations,
from
right? But not
pharmacological
Yes, but
meaning
and
not
on
that the
typical.
hormones,
streets,
circadian
Is
on
it?
the
rhythms are
Okay.
no longer in
streets,
control
but I
of
think it's
that behavior.
specific. Well,
So
not
the
specific. I want to like,
stimulants to
you know,
quote unquote
but
up in the
oh,
morning,
I can't
and then
talk over him.
you
He's
Oh, let
like
me
in my
pause
head.
him. Sorry, sorry, sorry,
to knock
sorry.
you out.
I just tune him out sometimes.
I don't
Sorry.
know how you can do that
I don't know either.
because he's like,
It must be my age.
I don't know, because I could feel him like inside of my limbic center, just like pushing my button, pushing my amygdala.
My amygdala's in check.
Oh,
My amygdala, like the rest of Gen Lu, don't give a fuck.
yeah. I can't wait for my amygdala to get there because my amygdala be a drama queen. She just wants to know everything.
40.
And
You gotta wait closer you get to 40, the less
uh,
you give a fuck.
uh, see,
Promise.
now I done forgot what I was saying.
Oh, Sarah Quillen Street.
Yes. In from just like what I've seen is I've seen it in a lot of opiate users because of the sedative and barbiturate effects. Then they like to, double it up when their
Okay, now, Johanna.
tolerance gets
Mhm.
pretty high. So,
Really? See,
girl.
I'm curious about that, and the reason I asked that is because I I was on Seroquel for a period of time, and I was also on Norco at the same time,
Mm.
and I I don't know,
Oh, here's the thing about Seroquel though. Seroquel in therapeutic doses, you're not supposed to feel it. It's not supposed to like have like a oh my god, I can feel it. Like
Mhm.
it's supposed to be subtle. When Seroquel is used on the streets, it's understandably being misused because
I got you.
at a higher dose, it can knock you out to where you
Okay.
can't. Yeah, yeah,
Because I was given Seroquel for sleep
right,
because
right. That's
my
the.
doctor didn't I loved my doctor. It took us a while to get a
Mhm,
good relationship, but he did not want me to be on Ambien. He said that has adverse side effects in women, like the driving and the stuff like that.
mhm,
So
mhm,
so I tried all the things, and I don't know if Seroquel um didn't actually work for making me sleep.
mhm.
And, so, then we ended up doing, he finally said, "Okay, fine. You've tried all the things. I'm gonna give you the Ambien," which Ambien's always worked for me.
I'm
So,
sure it does.
I'm sure yeah, it does, but let me say this in my defense with the Ambien, okay? You're not gonna catch me on audio tape talking about, "Man, I don't remember that I clocked your ass last night. I was on the Ambien, Amber Heard." I had taken my Ambien. I'm not responsible. No, you supposed to get in your bed. You do all your nighttime things first. Brush your teeth, wash all the things, and you get in your bed. You put your phone away. You put the Ambien in your mouth, and you take a drink, and you swallow the Ambien, and you don't move from the bed. It's
Mm,
not one of those ones that you can like take 30 minutes before bedtime and think that you can like, oh, I'll just straighten up the kitchen. No, no, no. Because you'll be straightening up the whole motherfucking house and won't even know what the hell you're doing. Okay?
mm.
Because it's a hypnotic. So you got to take it correctly. But I just wanted to say that. That's all I have to say. And that's
Yeah,
not saying no mas.
yeah, yeah. And the other thing, I don't know why I'm just reminded of this because all this talk about sleep and it's like in my nature to emphasize the importance of sleep. And did you actually know that if you take um, melatonin, which a lot of people struggle with sleep. That's not a freaking whatever. So a lot of people take melatonin and it works or whatever. But if you're on a antidepressant and you take a melatonin, they actually like cancel each other out.
Oh, they're contraindicative, huh?
It is the most bizarre.
Wow, I did not know that. I'm not on.
Well,
I'm on. I do take melatonin. I think melatonin is in my sleep gummies.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and if
My
it's
night snacks.
so SSRIs in particular and melatonin,
Serotonin reuptake inhibitors.
which yeah, it just
I should be a I'm
SSRI
going to be a
and
pharmacist and an attorney. So
S
get that
S
PayPal pool fund going for me, ladies.
SSRI back in communist Russia meant F off.
Can you still hear me? I'm moving the whole shebang outside because it's so nice tonight and I want to sit out there.
Ah,
We just have to cross the living room where Fast and Loud is on. Keep it pushing, keep it pushing, keep it pushing. Okay, we're through the living room. Whew. It's just gorgeous out tonight, so I just want to sit out here. Okay, done all
okay.
my move around and stuff like prior to starting the feed instead of making you guys go through all of this with me. But here we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, let me click. All right, hold on.
Yes, do not listen to internet doctors. Do not listen to even me or whatever. If you have
Don't
questions
listen
about
to
your
me for sure.
medication, go to your doctor, please,
Correct.
please.
I'm only telling you about my personal experience. This is not intended to replace or give advice or treatment or anything like that. It's simply for entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to treat, diagnose, nothing. You're on your own.
Seth,
Go find
Seth,
your
I'm
doctor.
sorry. You cannot hire Jen as that would be a conflict of interest.
What am I being hired for potentially?
As his potentially pretend attorney.
Ah.
So
Okay,
basically,
yeah, that
what
would
these are
be.
being used for is
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to
Oh,
get knocked down. And that's
let's
very
get knocked
characteristic of
down.
what would
But
be
I get up
actually
again.
legal prescribed substances. That's not illegal at all. That's very legal. And that's
It's
the
very
symbol is
legal.
what these
There's
medicines
something
then
that's
are.
less than
Okay,
very
so
legal.
Yeah.
But not
We have
illegal.
shades of legality.
So gabapentin is actually an anti-seizure medicine, which I think is it's indicated for seizures, and it might be indicated for one chronic pain condition, although I can't swear that to you. That said, again, in a
That's right,
substance use
DTC.
population, it has significant street value. And people
Say
who
that
use
again.
opiates often supplement that with marijuana because it
Amen.
has this anti-pain calming effect. So unfortunately, it also can cause respiratory suppression. And so when you use it with opiates, there are people that are lucky enough to succumb to respiratory suppression as a result. But
Oh,
it has a
stop
very
it, doctor.
additive,
You don't know what you're
calming
talking about.
effect that
People are out
people
there
use it for.
And what effect
injecting
would this
freaking
have on Mr.
drywall,
Depp?
just
Right,
trying to get high.
exactly.
You're talking
Again,
about a little bit of
again,
gabapentin
what it would
is
do
going to knock
is
someone
have the
out.
street value of using it with the opiates. The advantage is you're using it with opiates, and it's because opiates in general, despite everything else it does, are calming. And you use it with it, it offers further calming, which is
They're
why
calming.
doctors
That I
have
wouldn't use
warned
that
not to prescribe
adjective.
medications like gabapentin and
That's I
opiates
wouldn't say
together
that either.
unless under
Norco does not
significant
calm me down. It
strict
makes me hyper.
following because it can cause serious problems.
It
Well,
used to.
yeah.
Respiratory suppression.
And Mr. Depp was also taking
Calm.
Adderall, correct?
Yes.
Can you please describe to the jury what that impact would have, and particularly in connection with the dosages?
So Adderall is a psychostimulant, which is prescribed relatively regularly.
Oh,
Oh,
clearly
ADHD.
this doctor is on Adderall
The
as
problem
well.
comes again
or
when
going
you're-
through
you shouldn't be prescribing or receiving Adderall
puberty.
when you're already using, misusing cocaine. Okay, you're now doubling your stimulant.
This
dosage
is
here. Basically
this
what
comes
you are
from
talking
the
about again. It comes
Wait a
down to
minute,
the
wait a
gut
minute,
of
wait
the
a minute.
population.
I'm going to have to
You are
pause
using
you
it
here, Dr.
to
Spiegel,
stay
because
awake,
I want to
have
say,
energy.
hang on a minute. Correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong, Dr. B, but is Adderall is a stimulant. However, in somebody who has ADD or ADHD, it actually works the opposite. It's not a it calms them, it centers them, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it allows them to center their focus versus it being for a certain amount of time, you see, versus not being able to regulate the stimulation to where you can't sit still. Like where I'm, starting 10 projects at once, not being able to remember. Like, at this point, depending on when we think about ADD and ADHD, we think about kids, but those kids grow up to be ADD
Jen
adults.
Lou and Dr. B.
Hello.
Hey.
How y'all doing? So
what
I
do you
forgot what we were talking about.
what do you suppose would
Adderall,
happen if you were if you have ADD or ADHD and you took Adderall and cocaine?
Oh geez. If you would
if you were
be
on
very
Adderall
high.
on right, but would you be able to focus, or would the cocaine act as a stimulant to the ADD ADHD brain?
I mean, the cocaine would do what cocaine does. So yes, it would
Okay.
it would stimulate the brain, and you should not take Adderall and cocaine to study for the finals, kids.
No. No.
That would be a recipe for disaster.
Correct.
If you consume both, call 911.
Okay.
And
All right.
ask Michelle.
And yes, we have a Michelle in this trial. Michelle is the
coke
one who
is
puts
purely for entertainment. I'm sorry.
Who wrote that? Let a sky flashed. You guys are the best. We have the best chat, I swear. Okay, here we go.
I
Keep
know.
yourself going, getting high, getting energetic, and then the only way to kind of combat that, because you have this effect, is to kind of take downers during the day, and downers being anything that's opiates prescription, anywhere from Neurontin, anywhere from Seroquel, all
He's only at 1.25.
So that's what this is going on. That's what the substance use.
I feel like I'm at a lecture, so
this is like half a bump.
I'm doing what I typically do in lectures, is not I'm fucking around and not paying attention.
I really don't want you to pay attention to this part. I'm trying to get to the cross-examination.
So when you combine the
I
two
mean,
together,
yeah, this is just
like I talked about before,
let me not be rude and let the class listen. I'll go smoke. I'll be back, class.
Okay.
Partner violence.
You do that.
Jealousy, rapid mood changes, poor self-control, and to some degree, condoning violence to a certain degree. When you combine them all together, you get this disinhibiting euphoriant effect from.
I've decided that the hair pointing up is a debug blocker. Like the way that Melanie Gibb keeps her bang that way.
Potentially disinhibited.
This is further back in the hair, but same point.
And again, we're talking about not.
Let me see if I can show.
It's a debug blocker.
Yeah, let me see if I can show something.
Alcohol and cocaine use independently increase significantly the risk of intimate partner violence. These aren't statistics I'm coming up with. Anywhere reports up to 7 to 27 fold. So you are, quote unquote, colloquially playing with fire when you are talking about substances.
Oh, Freud! I have to I have to add you to the stream.
And that's all of us.
So this is my
the substances that Mr. Depp was taking, and the record evidence related to those.
What the fuck? We're doing it opposite to each other. There you go.
Sorry. Yeah. So this is my tattoo of
in terms of substance use disorder, when
Freud.
you look at it.
So it's definitely is
major moral obligations not being fulfilled.
Oh my God, he's talking to my amygdala again.
Social issues,
I'll just turn him down because I'm trying to get to the cross.
Yeah,
obviously there was tolerance independent for the amount he was using.
It's the hairdo. So yeah, hello.
This is what I liked about this. There was parts in this testimony where I was actually focusing on what he was saying. But as I was focusing on his actual testimony, the other thing I was focusing on is this rather large Gatorade that he has here. And that I kept wondering when he was going to take a break. Like you have it there. Why are you not taking a drink?
Yes, Amelia, let's get to the cross. I want to get to
I
the
know I'm trying
actual
to get there, but
substance.
this is a hard place. I don't like the way this goes. It's not letting me see the picture like normally it does, you know?
Well, yeah, just keep pressing, just keep hitting some,
Substance abuse.
keep
Substance abuse.
going. Substance abuse, substance abuse. Okay,
It's
they've
got to be right.
approached.
It's got to be right about after this. So we'll just put
Perfect.
this on 2 times speed real quick. I don't know what's going on in the neighborhood. Some big heavy machinery is happening. I don't really know. Elaine is very animated. She's really trying to convince people of the.
I feel like the judge is done with Elaine.
I think she is too, but to be quite honest with you, this is the thing about this judge I can really appreciate. She is all caps done with Elaine, okay? But yet she remains courteous, professional, and patient with Elaine, because I'm going to just say I don't feel that I would be able to, at this point in the trial, I would have lost my cool on Elaine. Elaine gets on my nerves.
Have you reviewed that correlates with the risk factors for IPV?
Oh my God, they're still talking. She's still.
Fabe is an example of that. I do think the victim wants to engage in Auburn, and that triggered what was going on.
Are you familiar with the term?
And charming. Warning sign to be
Why not?
No foundation.
He was explaining with Goldwater.
I like how she talks to the lawyer.
No foundation. Not yet then. Isn't that?
Oh, here we go.
Okay, now can you turn it up a little bit?
Yes, I am going to do all the
Perfect.
things.
And in fact, I think you testified earlier. You invited Mr.
He's
Depp
almost
to-
done.
Again,
Objection leading.
She's almost done.
so to be
Okay,
fair,
okay.
for evaluation, for my own direct evaluation, again, I was offered twice that I could do an evaluation on Mr. Depp directly, and both times Mr. Depp and or his lawyers decided that was going to happen.
Okay. And in fact, the court did not require Mr. Depp to.
No, the court did not require Mr. Depp to undergo this evaluation.
Okay. Dr. Spiegel, these opinions that you have offered here, do you hold them to within a reasonable degree of medical and psychiatric probability or certainty?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Cross-examination. Thank you, Susan.
And here we go.
Sir, I'm Wayne Dennison. We haven't met. But let me ask you, let's start with what you finished with.
I'm sorry, one more time.
Let's start with what you finished with. You understand that the court was twice asked by Ms. Heard's counsel to order a medical exam of Mr. Depp, and those motions were denied.
I think your team told the court you didn't want to have them, and the court ruled on it, right? I don't think the court proactively did it. You kind of had a motion to them, right?
No, when Ms. Heard's lawyers moved for them and asked for them and did not get them. Isn't that right, sir?
If you're saying that's what happened, my understanding of was that you all did not want him to undergo one. They petitioned for it. The court said no. Yes, that's what my understanding of it was.
The court said no to ordering Mr. Depp to do the medical exam.
Right. That's I said. The court did not require it. Right.
And there was one that was ordered, in fact, right?
There was.
All right.
All right. So the last thing you talked about was the Goldwater rule.
Yes, sir.
Been around for almost 50 years, right?
Yeah, I'm 59. That sounds about right.
Yeah. And it's been around as a result of a presidential election that you referenced.
Yes.
And who has that rule? What organization maintains that rule?
The American Psychiatric Association.
An association you're a member of.
Association that I'm a member of. Yes.
Aren't you a fellow or something?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So, and this is an ethical rule, right?
It is an ethical rule. And yes, it's ethical. They say rules. It's an ethical guideline. Yes, they're guidelines.
Like the
And
pirate code. We
know
already
that
talked
over
about this
time,
morning.
The American Psychiatric Association has amended the rule, so it's not just about diagnoses, but it's also about professional opinions.
Could you be more specific, say about professional opinion in regard to what?
Well, let me read this and see if you're familiar with it. It is unethical for a psychiatrist to offer a professional opinion about an individual based on publicly available information without conducting an examination. That's the rule, right?
If you're reading it directly, I will believe you.
Okay. However, a diagnosis is not required for an opinion to be professional. So my question is, it's not just diagnosis that this Goldwater rule applies to, it's professional opinions.
So again, I will reiterate that that would come down to essentially nullifying witness testimony, expert witness testimony, without direct evaluation. And as we know, it didn't happen. But regardless of that, the whole expert witness testimony thing would be basically rendered null and void.
The rule, in fact, contemplates that issue, doesn't it, sir?
Again, I'm just telling you the answer to the question. When you're reading me those statements, I'm telling you the response by the other side, who publishes also, is that if that was the case, there could be no expert witness testimony in the courtroom.
Psychiatrists are ethically prohibited from evaluating individuals without permission or other authorization, such as a court order. That's the rule, right?
Again, if you're reading that, then I have to believe you're not misrepresenting it. And I would come back to, again, then this whole thing on we might as well get rid of all the expert witnesses we've had throughout all the time for court proceedings. Because you're saying,
See, if this guy had any experience in, if this guy had any experience in like testimony or trial, or expert testimony or whatever, he would be prepared for this, because any cross-examination is going to go directly for the ethical guidelines and trying to dismantle his credibility. So the fact that he's up here like stuttering and getting defensive is just speaks to his not non-preparedness, maybe,
Lack of
or
trial preparedness.
yeah,
Or trial experience, lack of trial
experience,
experience.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know what his experience is, but those are just kind of like my thoughts. That's what I would be wondering, just, or what I am wondering.
Right, because conversely, with Dr. Curry, this is where she spends the majority. This is part of her deal. Is that that's not a real accurate description. You guys know what I mean? It's late.
Yeah.
That's what she does. So she has tons
She
of
sets
trial
the foundation.
Correct. And she also, what I liked about her is that Elaine did come for her in many ways, particularly on her education, because she is not board certified. Is she even qualified to do what she's doing? But Dr. Curry handled it much better than, as we will see shortly, Dr. Spiegel. And go.
Witnesses cannot do
I can't wait.
Oh, it's
insurance companies cannot do evaluations. So
I cannot wait.
Doctors rendering professional
This
opinions. So at the end of the day, you are essentially saying that unless someone has directly evaluated it, this whole medical system we have, this whole legal system we have, is null and void.
I'm not saying.
No, yes, you are, sir. No, you are.
And it's starting.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. He's
what
like
I'm
dismantling. Oh, no.
Is a rule by your organization
Dr. Spiegel.
that
Yeah.
takes into account.
Did you know that Spiegel in German means mirror?
No, I did not.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because, you know, I've heard him talk about narcissism earlier, and it's and he's literally named Miss or Dr. Mirror.
And we know the
Wow.
does not prohibit that. So I am a member of the APA. That doesn't necessarily mean every single thing they put in there.
Girl, I got my snaps, DPC prime time.
Ooh,
I'm
I'm so
snacking.
proud of you.
I'm listening. I'm all here for it.
Inconsistent with Goldwater rule.
Yeah, my first was inconsistent. If we're saying that if the Goldwater rule says, and I very much said that during deposition, that the Goldwater rule was made for presidents and public figures such as that, but regardless of that, because that's what it was made for. It's not made for Hollywood, but I'll even take that Mr. Depp's a public figure. What I'm saying to you is that the Goldwater rule is saying we cannot do any expert witness testimony in our field. That is exactly what the Goldwater rule is saying based on exactly what you read. And I'm just telling you what you are saying that rule encompasses.
What I'm asking you, sir, is did you comply with the ethical requirements of the APA when rendering the professional opinions that you've rendered today?
It is a requirement of the APA. It is not the requirement of the APA. Secondarily,
So the
again,
answer is no?
Secondarily, again, in
Oh,
order to
hell no. I
you
can't.
waste our
Yeah,
opportunity.
this
There's an
is-
expert witness before me. There's an expert
Just
witness
wait.
everyone brought in. So all I'm saying
Oh
to you that
man,
is
he's
the whole
triggered.
of medical legal law is
Yes.
corrupt and unethical for engaging in an act that the APA clearly says we should not do. So if you're saying
Okay,
that,
dude, we're not in
yes, I'm
philosophy.
agreeing with that
The
statement.
jury's lost.
The jury is lost,
You're
but let me tell
agreeing
you
that
what
the
they're going to
APA would
remember.
deem your
Him acting a
Him
fool.
acting like
professional
this.
opinions rendered
Yeah.
unethical.
Mhm.
Again, I'm saying you are saying that I'm an expert witness. I'm saying as an expert witness and solely as an expert witness, that guideline,
Witness to what, boy?
I would say
What are you
that
witnessing?
whole field of expert witness testimony, again, would be disavowed by what you are quoting in the gold order. And we know that's not the case, because if it was, we would not be allowed to do it.
And you said the rule was for presidents, right? And
That was
public
initially for
figures.
press, yes.
And the name of the rule came from that. But the rule says it is unethical for a psychiatrist to offer.
And the other thing for
about an
entertainment,
individual.
Skyflash.
That's right, sir. It's not just
Yes.
presidents, it's not public figures, it's individuals.
Funny, it was named after them. According to your logic, if you don't put something in the title, it's not true. That's what you told me this morning, I believe, at my intimate partner violence. So what I would say to you then,
What?
sir, is that if you say this about an
Oh
individual,
my God.
again,
Yeah.
any
He's
court
just
have to render
digging.
an expert
It's
witness
going to go
testimony
back.
on
It's
any
going to go bad
doctor
for,
that
it's
reviews
not going to
charts, you
get
have
better.
render it invalid.
Yeah. The
I
more
can go
he
on the
talks,
list of
the
doctors that
worse
do not
it is.
see or interview
Yeah.
patients
For him.
directly, and that's a violation. So basically, you are saying that unless you do a direct clinical evaluation, then all of the field of forensic psychiatry and all of managed care is doing an unethical violation because we are not seeing the presence. We deny patients medications all the time without seeing them. We deny patients treatments, unfortunately, without seeing them. And I'm on the receiving end of that. So the answer to your question, again, unless you were saying to me that all of this is unethical, which is what you are saying. This is how I'm interpreting what you are saying to me. That unless you do the evaluation directly yourself, therefore, it cannot be considered ethical. And I'm telling you how that's applicable to not just expert law, but also managed care. It's applicable to multiple branches of medicine. Hospital duration of hospitalization.
Psychiatrists are so
So
cocky. Oh
tell
my
me,
God, I
tell me where you want to
can't.
end this.
I know.
Well,
Sorry.
why don't we?
And this
why don't
is just
Why don't we talk about what you just
beautiful.
testified to? Because I didn't ask you.
I'm
anything about
enjoying
that. I
the
asked
shit
you
out of
whether
this. I'm not even going to
under
lie.
this rubric, under this
Mhm.
principle of medical ethics.
Johnny is
Have
too.
you
He
acted on
stopped drawing or
Listen,
whatever the
He
fuck
sure
he's
did.
doing.
Look,
As
he's
expert
leaned
witness,
back in
I have
his
not
chair.
acted unethically.
Camille is
If
leaned
you want
in
the jury to believe
close.
that expert witnesses
They're
are
enjoying this like a
unethical,
whole
then I
fam.
guess that's for them
Well,
to
then,
decide.
yes or
That's for
no,
them
sir?
to
You
decide.
said no. Let's go to the next question.
He is DTC. To be a psychiatrist, you have to
Psychiatric
do
diagnosis occurs in the context of an evaluation based on thorough history-taking, examination, and where applicable, collated or collateral information. You'll agree with that?
I believe I said that earlier, yes.
And it's a departure from the methods of the profession to render an opinion without an examination.
I wonder if. Oh, pause,
in
please.
accordance with the
Okay.
standards of psychiatric practice. Correct?
This is going to go a whole circular argument for hours.
I
Not really
know.
hours, but
And I'm
while.
noticing Johnny's posture and body language, and I'm wondering if this is kind of a inadvertent or advertent intimidation tactic, because obviously Johnny Depp refused to meet with the doctor twice,
Mhm.
and Johnny wasn't paying attention to the doctor at all during direct. And now he buttoned himself up, fixed his tie, and he's like, I'm ready to watch the roast or
Yes,
whatever.
I'm ready to be
So
entertained. This finally just got good. I'm ready
yes,
to pay
like
attention and participate.
he's letting the doctor know that, oh, you wanted my attention, here you are. And I think that's further gonna rattle the doctor.
I think it's yes. Yes.
Let's
I
see.
agree. Let's see how this goes.
Mhm.
And go.
Well, again, by the way, for the record, intimate partner violence is not a psychiatric diagnosis. I'll start with that. Substance usage by themselves is not a psychiatric diagnosis. If you want to cut to the chase, psychiatry is not a diagnosis of that. Narcissistic personality traits is not a diagnosis. Ergo, I am basically commenting on the things that were brought to me, which are not diagnosis. But an evaluation, if I was going to treat a patient or anyone here, those are the steps I would take.
I think, started with the notion that this rule applies broader than diagnoses. It applies to professional opinions.
I believe
And
you
you've
just
rendered
quoted-
professional opinions relative to narcissistic personality traits, haven't you, sir? Relative to Mr. Depp.
Again, I believe you just commented on what it takes to do in a psychiatric evaluation to establish a diagnosis. I'm almost certain that's what you said. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you didn't say that, but I'm sure you did. And therefore, what I'm saying is neither IPV nor substance usage nor narcissistic personality traits are psychiatric diagnosis. And then under the rubric of expert witness testimony, you are saying I acted unethically under the rubric of expert witness testimony. So if you, sir, would like to proceed that expert witnesses are unethical based on that, I am not going to sit here and disagree with you and waste everyone's time. I think it's fairly obvious. But thank you. Go ahead. These
Oh,
were your
Dr.
words. I'm just stating
Spiegel,
back how they're interpreted.
yes.
pause, please.
Okay.
Okay, let me pause. Hit
Uh,
it.
Here's a little freebie for Dr. Spiegel. You know, there's always that one little magical sentence where you can say, you can give your little opinion, but at the end, you can give your little caveat that this should be taken with caution because you had limited information, and therefore, should there be more blah, 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 your
Then-
opinion could change.
Yes.
So that
this
way,
is-
you don't have to argue and fight for
right.
your
This
life.
is my whole beef with this this testimony is that there were much better, more effective ways of dealing with this, for lack of a better word, bone of contention, and yet the well-educated Dr. Spiegel could not get out of the loop
Oh
and
my
shut it
God.
down. So what
Mhm.
happens in treatment if you get a patient like, I'm sorry, but people have said to me a lot of times that I including my husband, that I argue like an attorney all the time. Okay. And so I feel that I would be taking that part of myself into a therapy session and would likely question the doctor like this way. And I feel that we would get nowhere and my whole hour would be wasted because he can't get me out of the loop.
Unless you find actually like
You could get
No.
me out of the loop.
good,
Yeah,
good
somebody like you who'd be
doctor.
like, look here, I'm not going to play your bullshit reindeer games. Okay. Either you want my help or you don't. So sit down, stop asking me a bunch of fucking questions, quit fucking around, and let's get to work. That's the kind of therapist I need. Stop fucking around. All right, here we go.
Yeah, let's
Let's
go.
start with the easy question then. Maybe we can.
That was pretty easy. Go ahead.
All right, Doctor, you're going to have to just answer the questions.
Okay. Sorry about that. Getting into it.
You need to just answer the questions,
Okay.
Dr. Spiegel.
I mean, I would
We're
feel
not
uncomfortable
rendering
if Johnny
any
Depp was sitting and
diagnosis
staring and
whatsoever
laughing at
of
me
Mr.
while I'm
Depp.
testifying.
Today,
I
or
would
ever.
too.
I'd be like, I'm gonna go. I want my mommy.
No, I probably would say to you that certainly I would not say narcissistic personality, I would say traits. Certainly from what I have read, intimate partner violence is not a diagnosis. So the answer is no. for that.
Every human being has
Narcissistic personality traits
narcissistic
is
traits.
not a diagnosis.
Yes.
The answer is no. But if you want to tell me that substance use disorder is a psychiatric diagnosis, the answer is yes. And
But that wasn't an issue, was it? Whether Mr. Depp used substances. I mean, you said you've gone through the record. That wasn't really an issue with this trial. He's said it from day one.
so you're saying he's already admitted to the diagnosis?
He's already admitted to the use of the substances.
Well, again, there's a difference between admitting to substance use and substance use disorder.
Let's go back to what you just said about narcissistic.
What's the
personality.
difference, doctor?
Yes.
Yes, explain that.
Narcissistic personality disorder is a DSM-5 diagnosis, correct?
Correct.
Diagnostic personality, and you haven't testified that Mr. Depp has narcissistic personality disorder, have you?
I would certainly, if I didn't, I'm certainly thinking that, but at least I'm going to say he has traits, which are characteristics of provisional diagnosis.
Of course, he
of-
would
it's
laugh
a
at
provisional
it.
diagnosis, probably narcissistic personality disorder. But yeah, I mean, I do believe that.
Well, when you say provisional diagnosis, you know the DSM-5.
Oh my God,
requires,
did he actually
in
say
order to
that?
find that
Yes,
diagnosis,
that's exactly what he
Oh
said.
five
my
of the 9
God.
factors. You
Wow.
haven't done that analysis. You've never made that diagnosis.
Wow.
You've just identified certain factors.
That are
Yikes
criteria for
on
the diagnosis.
bikes.
All the
But you
yikes.
need
I'm
5
at
of
the
9 to
wowie
get to the
wow wow.
diagnosis. You've already told us that you didn't make a diagnosis.
I've
Oh
moved
my
past the
God.
bikes.
Identifying traits, correct?
I'm identifying traits that are consistent with the diagnosis. Yes.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
And did you testify in
This is going to be
deposition
good.
that
Yes.
the existence of traits
Okay, I'm going to
as opposed to
go.
the
I'll be right back.
disorder
Okay.
doesn't have a correlation with IPV?
If I said traits do not have a correlation with the, that's what I said, and I don't remember saying that, but that wouldn't be a correct thing. Narcissism has a correlation with the diagnosis. Yes, that part's true.
Or how far are we going to back this up? Because there's a diagnosis of narcissistic personality disorder, right?
Yes, sir.
And that one is has some correlation with IPV, right?
Narcissism has correlation with IP. Again, sir, you're not allowing me to answer. You're splitting hairs. You're splitting hairs between the traits that are consistent with, which all I'm commenting on is behaviors and traits that are consistent with the diagnosis and Mr. Depp. Narcissism absolutely has risk factors associated with IPV.
Let's go back again, and maybe we can focus on the question I asked you, and we can get an answer that's addressed to that question. Narcissistic personality disorder.
Oh my God, he got him into a
is
boy
a risk
mode.
factor for IPV. Yes
He
or no?
did.
Yes.
And you previously testified
Yes.
that there is no literature at which you are currently aware that the mere presence of narcissistic traits is a risk factor for IPV.
Johnny's
Answer the
soaking
question?
it all
Yes,
up for
that's
future
true.
roles.
You didn't testify.
He is.
Cluster,
He really
cluster
is.
B traits.
For the future movie that
which
he's
narcissistic
gonna.
personality disorder is part of,
Yeah.
is a huge risk factor for
Huge.
intimate partner violence, which include cluster B
Huge.
traits include narcissistic personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, amongst others. So the answer to the question is every resource on intimate partner violence will support that cluster B traits, where narcissistic personality falls under, is a risk factor for intimate partner violence.
Any single trait is a risk factor for IPV.
Again, I will repeat,
No.
cluster B traits. I didn't say any trait. I said cluster. No,
Let me be more precise then.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Any narcissistic trait in and of itself is a risk factor for IPV.
No.
but you are mischaracterizing what I said. What I said, I'm pretty sure I said cluster. If you look at all the intimate partner violence literature, and I would behoove you to do so, you will see
All of
cluster
it.
B
All of it.
traits.
He's an attorney. Why
Specific-
would
didn't
he
say
look at
narcissistic
that?
disorder.
Actually, the
Cluster
person
B
who needs to
traits.
come with the manual
Where
is the
narcissistic
person
personality disorder
who's
is part of.
actually been
Are risk
diagnosed with
factors
cluster
for
B
intimate partner
personality
violence.
disorders.
Part and
Miss
parcel uniform.
Heard. She's the
I'm not
one
sure-
that
I'm-
should
I
come with
don't understand. I'm
literature,
not sure why we're arguing psychiatry.
a
because I'm
pamphlet,
telling you what it is.
resources,
Okay.
a number to call.
So you want to talk about cluster B, so let's do that for a minute. Borderline personality disorder is a risk factor for IPV.
Yes.
Part of cluster B traits, yes.
Histrionic personality disorder
Yes.
is a risk factor for IPV.
Less so.
But it
Less so. Less so.
But it's a
factor,
risk.
but Less so, yes.
Yeah.
Less so.
Also,
Significantly
like
less
it's less
All right.
legal
So-
and very legal,
Correct.
Which traits
Correct.
and less
under
significant
narcissistic-
and more
before I move on,
statistically
there's only
significant.
been
There's no less
one
or more.
diagnosis in
Right.
court
Something is
of
either
personality disorder,
illegal
correct?
or legal.
I'm not sure who you're referring to.
I love it.
Are you referring to Mr.
Sugar
Depp?
Oh,
Mr.
hey,
I'm not sure
Granny's
what you're talking about.
watching.
Do you
Good to see
understand
ya.
that there was a medical examination?
Hi, Granny's
done of Ms. Heard?
watching.
Yes, I did.
Do you understand that the testimony was ultimately that Ms. Heard suffers from 2 personality disorders?
Okay, so I'm just being specific. I just wanted to know if you're talking about Ms. Heard or Mr. Depp. So that's all I was asking you.
Yes or
You
no to my
heard him.
question?
Which
You
was there's
heard what
only
he said.
one
Don't
diagnosis
play,
of-
doctor.
Ms. Heard was diagnosed with that.
Yes, she
And
was.
both of
Yes,
the
she was.
diagnoses are in cluster B, and both of them are risk factors for IPV.
Correct.
Both those cluster B
Ba- ba-
things
ba-
are,
ba- ba-
I'm not allowed to
ba-
comment
ba-
on the testing, so therefore.
What,
all I
are
can
you,
say
a
is
chicken
that
today?
Cluster B traits, I'll tell you what they are. And by the way,
He's fixing it. I'm telling y'all, at the end of this, he's going to lay a
One, I
whole
don't expect
egg because he's done lots of mine.
Two,
I don't-
absolutely there were
you-
cluster B
you're-
traits Ms. Heard had. Absolutely, Ms. Heard had.
Given that you've testified to it before, let's move on to a new question.
What's our call?
All right.
Oh, the turkey.
You indicated, in your opinion today, that you thought. Well, wait a minute.
Interestingly
Wait a
enough,
minute.
it's also
Are
the
you
way
a
that
member
Willy
of the
Wonka
American Medical Association?
No.
calls the
Okay,
Oompa
so
Loompas.
you don't know what the ethical rule of the American
He does
Medical
for a
Association
psychiatrist.
is
He
relative
doesn't
to
appear
doing
very self-aware. I'll just say
clinical
that.
diagnoses of
It's-
individuals you've never treated.
Yeah.
So you're saying in terms of doing expert witness evaluations, under that rubric, right?
I'm just
¿Qué?
asking you, do you know the
¿Qué?
AMA's rule?
No habla inglés.
You're saying AMA's ruling under the rubric of not to evaluate somebody you did not see. And I'm questioning, I'm asking, so you are talking about expert witness testimony?
No, I'm talking about, do you know the rule?
I'm not a member of the AMA, so I
Okay,
don't
great.
read the rule.
We
Okay.
can move on.
Then
You don't
then
know
we
the
can.
rule.
The answer is no. I don't know the rule.
Right.
All right.
Why you gotta
You
argue?
rendered an opinion about Mr. Depp's purported cognitive impairment.
Yeah,
Yes.
go watch it. Granny's watching.
did
He
you use as a
totally
baseline?
does. He goes.
A baseline for processing speed?
Yeah, for analyzing Mr. Depp before you watched his deposition.
Hey, you're curious,
What is the baseline
Rose.
for
Good
that?
to see you.
I mean, I guess my baseline would probably be how I've seen him interact in public. How I've seen him interact with others. I've
Oh
seen him interact
God.
in
Here
media.
we-
I've seen him
this
interact
is
with
where-
others.
That is
Process
your
speed is certainly
baseline?
not slow.
I
I've seen him do
can't.
commercials. Is his process?
Just Dr. B.
Oh no.
Brace yourself.
Oh no. This is not.
This is about like 2 or 3 minutes, maybe
Let me
even
take a
5
drink.
or 10. I can't be sure because I lost all concept of time because I was so focused on the damn Gatorade. I'm not even gonna lie. But brace yourself because it's about to go all the way down the motherfucking hill. Okay.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Take
Everybody
your drink. Take a sip.
do a deep cleansing breath. Let me take a sip. I'm parched as well.
Remember, the book has no power here.
We embrace the chaos. Tabuk has no power here. All of y'all.
Release the bangs.
You see, as he goes along, more hairs join in the cause and to stand up.
Okay,
He looks
I think
like
I'm ready.
he's okay. This is what's deceptive about this specific pause right here, because this is indicative of somebody who's about to check somebody and put them all the way
Uh-huh.
together.
But that's out of context, or
Completely.
as
Completely.
some like to say, out of content.
Correct. And this is
Ah.
this, yeah.
Let's. Oh my gosh. Okay, now you got me really excited. I'm
Okay, go.
like chocolate.
The deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies against his
Wow.
deposition testimony here?
What I said was I've seen Mr. Depp do apology ads. I remember he did apology ad with Bad Dog. No delay in process speed. I've seen him interact with the media regarding to that. I saw no delay in processing speed. All I'm saying,
Let me ask you about pirates.
Parsimony, parlay.
Given in
then
this case.
I apologize for what I said. Then I misspoke.
You misspoke. You didn't make the
Wait, what?
comparison.
Right now, just a second ago.
Oh
Just a second ago,
my
I may have said that
gosh.
I misspoke. I apologize. I misspoke.
Okay.
Because you know you can't compare pirates to sworn testimony, right?
Yes.
You do know that, don't you,
But
doctor?
as an aside, you can't judge someone's processing speed at any time. I'm judging yours right now. You're judging mine. We all judge processing
No,
speed
you can't.
as a baseline.
Okay.
Because a
Oh my
adult,
God.
and I would
Can
say
you
processing
pause,
speed right
please?
Yes,
now, he's not
yes,
Oh,
yes,
if
yes.
he doesn't stop right now,
I know.
my brain is hurting as
I know. Mine feels like it's tight, like it's being crushed under the weight of bullshit.
yes, but this is someone who is my colleague.
Yes.
And the people, this is,
I know this is hitting you just a little different right now.
it's
We're all-
hit me bad, girl.
We're all here to support you. We're here. What do
he-
you need?
He just said that he can easily assess one's processing speed by looking at a movie. So pray tell, doctor, if instead of Johnny Depp, it was Leonardo DiCaprio, would you judge his processing speed based on his performance in Gilbert Grape? I'm serious.
No, I mean, you're
Like,
right.
he's
girl.
clearly not understanding the concept of public performance,
Right.
including the media.
Right. I mean,
Spiegel,
if you were
get it
going to
together.
if you were going to evaluate
I am
something
so
like
sorry,
that,
Paula. I am so sorry, Paula. A lot
I'm
of people
sorry.
are and have been, and I get it all the time. And don't give up. If you don't feel comfortable with your doctor, get
Bounce.
another one, Find another one, do whatever it takes, but don't settle for, because these guys are dangerous, in my
Right.
opinion.
And I will say, you should.
He said, I heard him say, I prescribe medication without seeing the patients all the time.
Every day. Now, if you're somebody who is doctor shopping, you just found the perfect one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the type.
Yes, he would be if I went to him and I said, "You don't need to know nothing about me. Don't evaluate me. I'm here to tell you today, these are my requirements. I have
That-
the ADDs, therefore I will be needing a script for Adderall. Also, I have trouble sleeping. I will be needing the Ambience. Also, I have generalized anxiety disorder, so I will be needing a benzo of some type. I prefer anything that is not Ativan. Ativan seems to exacerbate my anxiety symptoms. Wico,
Oh,
I
oh
also
my
suffer
God.
from chronic back pain. What can you do in that area? You are a doctor. I mean, if one were to be doctor shopping.
You know, there are studies done actually that, whatever, that do suggest that psychiatrists in particular tend to exhibit more of those narcissistic traits.
Ah,
Well,
you don't
doctors in
say.
general, but
Yes,
I think
haven't they
that's a
talked
good
about
thing.
that? Well, yeah, I mean, if it's anything that's used for the correctly, right,
Mhm.
could be good. I mean, I know that they talk a lot about like the God complex in doctors, right?
Exactly.
And
And
if
that,
you're trying to be like God in that you're saving somebody's life, right?
mhm,
That's perfect. If you're
exactly.
trying to act like God in that you're playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo about who lives and who dies, not so good.
hmm
So,
hmm And the other thing that's, I think, just in my humble opinion, a lot of doctors don't have the self-awareness piece, and they're not immune to psychological, triggers and traumas and whatever the hell. So to see a doctor who's so smart and who
mhm.
knows how to diagnose or whatever, like, no, he
He's
clearly knows what
completely
he's
competent. He's totally
talking about,
yeah, he is, but he's just
but he lacks the bedside manners,
mhm.
It's like it's all cortical with him. Like, it's like, dude, do you have feels? Like,
Right.
do you have empathy for your patients? Like,
Right. Oh, well, he does. We're gonna get to the
oh,
empathy.
ah,
Yes.
okay.
Let's get there.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to
I mean,
oh
we're
wait,
judging
let
processes
me
here.
just
I'm
push
saying.
pause. Sorry. I want to thank you for everybody who has just joined us. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome. Vincent's missing here. Good to
Hi,
see ya.
Vincent.
You guys all make me laugh the most.
Mhm.
I hope nobody clips me doctor shopping speech.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
Any of Mr. Depp's other portrayals in movies, did that affect your analysis of processing speed?
Only I've seen him interact on interviews, and that was it.
Right.
When he wasn't in movies.
Right. But Willy Wonka
Oh.
doesn't matter to you? You seen that movie? Charlie Chaplin? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Oh my God. What is he doing? Is he mute?
No.
You have to answer questions.
Oh my God.
No. Let me mute me and go back because I'm not gonna make it. You have to hear this part. This is okay. Let me just rewind a little tiny little bit.
All right, I can't.
I can hardly work the rewind.
I must
What I
hear
said.
it.
What I said, I'm pretty sure I said cluster. If you look at all the intimate partner violence literature,
All of it.
In your opinion today, that you thought, well, why don't we move a little different? Are you a member of the American Medical Association?
No.
Okay, so you don't know what the ethical rule of the American. You rendered an opinion about Mr. Depp's purported cognitive impairment.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh
What do
my
you use as a
gosh.
baseline?
Oh
A
my
baseline
gosh.
for processing speed?
Yeah, for analyzing Mr. Depp before you watched his deposition.
What is the baseline for that?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my baseline would probably be how I've seen him interact in public. How I've seen him interact with others. I've seen him interact in the
Probably.
media. I've seen him interact and his process speed is certainly not slow. I've seen him do commercials. His process speed is not slow.
In deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies
This is
against his deposition testimony?
What I said was I've seen Mr. Depp do apology ads. I remember he did apology ad with that dog with no delay in process speed. I've seen him interact with the media regarding to that. I saw no delay in processing speed. All I'm saying
Let me
is,
ask you
Oh
about
my
pirates,
God.
though. You compared pirates to the to the depositions given in this case.
then I apologize for what I said. Then I misspoke.
You
What?
misspoke? You didn't make the comparison?
What?
Right
the
now,
fuck?
just a second ago, I may have said that I misspoke. I apologize. I misspoke.
Okay. Because
Oh
you know
my
you can't
God.
compare pirates to
Yo
sworn testimony,
ho.
right?
This is intense.
But you can, but
I'm
as a side, you
sweating.
can judge someone's process
Me too.
at any time. Like I'm judging yours right now. You're judging mine. We all judge processing speed.
I'm not
And
judging
No, we
your
don't.
processing.
your
Bruh,
processing speed
nobody's
right now is
judging
not
your
slow.
processing speed.
So I mean, we're judging processing speed.
I
I'm
can
saying.
tell you're a little bit animated and a little bit
So then,
excited, but
did
I'm
Mr.
not
Depp's other
judging, man.
portrayals in movies, did that affect your analysis of processing speed?
Only I've seen him interact on interviews, and that was it. When he wasn't in movies.
Right. But Willy Wonka doesn't matter to you?
Oh my God.
You see him in that movie, Charlie and Chocolate Factory? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No, you'll be happy. No, I didn't see Willy Wonka.
You
I
have
didn't-
to
I didn't
answer
see 21 Jump Street
questions.
when it happened. No, I did not.
He did
Even
a
Camille
Stephanie
can't keep
Lazarus.
I think early on in your deposition.
Oh my God.
that
He
you're
pulled
not
a Stephanie
going to be a
Lazarus.
better actor than Mr. Depp.
What
That's
is his mandibular
100%.
malfunction?
But with respect to acting, you know that actors actually rehearse for their parts and work on the language, diction,
I know.
timing of their dialogue
I
as
know.
part of that rehearsal.
If you say that, I'm not an actor, so I don't know what goes on. I can't tell you. I have no idea what goes on in acting.
Okay.
Clearly.
You don't know enough about acting to know whether actors rehearse.
Sir, I am not an expert in acting. I have no idea what an actor does.
Okay.
But you're evaluating processing speed. Now that's your superpower.
During your deposition,
Everybody's taking a
what are the
chug.
circumstances under which you
Oh my
decided to
God.
call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Under somebody call Mr. Depp an idiot?
Yeah, you called Mr. Depp an idiot in your deposition.
Oh, I think. Okay. So I think
Oh.
it was in the context. I think it was in the. You probably should read the context of it, but I think the context was.
Is there an
Yeah, I'm trying to
appropriate
think back.
context
I'm
to
trying
call
to think
somebody an
Okay,
idiot?
what I thought it was related to was if you're coming to some deposition, okay, and again, I'm thinking back, so you have it in front of you. I don't. So I'm thinking back where he's coming in from Europe for a deposition, video deposition that he gave, and he took it overnight the night before. And what I think I said was that if you're going to do a major thing to a trial that you're involved with, I think you'd be an idiot to come in the night before.
All right.
So I didn't call Mr. Depp an idiot. I certainly call that planning an idiot. I didn't call him an idiot.
So the words
You
"so
would
I
call
know
the
he's an
planning
idiot"
idiotic.
are mistranscribed.
No, I'm sure.
So what does that
said it
say
in
about
context,
his
just reading one line,
processing
one
speed?
snippet. I'm sure it was in the context I just said. But again, you have it in front of you. I don't.
Isn't that an executive function,
Is, idiot a
i.e.
professional
planning?
I'm
Is-
running profession.
opinion?
is
Is it a
idiot.
psychiatric opinion?
That follows the.
And he's, yeah.
How does it follow the?
I just said that I'm not rendering a professional opinion. I just said idiot. That's not a.
No, so idiot is not a professional
Oh
opinion.
my God.
Is it your
Mm-hmm.
practice?
I'm a
to
professional,
describe
and
people
it
as
is
idiots?
my
In my
opinion.
practice, describe people in my practice. No, I don't describe my clinical cases as idiots or patients as idiots or victims as idiots. No, sir.
Is there
You
a
sat for
cure for
deposition in this
idiots?
case and described the plaintiff
Idiotism?
as an idiot, correct?
You gave me 9 hours of deposition, and if I said the word idiot, it was an idiot in planning. It wasn't making him an idiot. I don't know Mr. Depp's IQ. I don't know his overall functioning. So therefore, if I said it, it was an idiot in planning, which is what I meant to come across as.
All right. So you did say you don't know his overall functioning, but you made some testimony today as to some evaluations you made relative to his functioning. You would agree with me that it's probably a good idea to think about the questions that are asked you in a court proceeding before answering.
Am I allowed to answer that question?
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant.
Am I allowed to?
I believe that his agent reported how late he was showing up to every movie while the cast is waiting for him. I believe that would be an impairment. If I showed up late for that, I would not be here right now. I would not have a job.
You're not
Okay?
Johnny
I
Depp.
believe the thing
You're
was
not
in
an
terms of,
actor. You're a doctor.
walking out of
You're
treatment.
supposed to show.
You're not. Are you aware, Doctor?
No, he's not. Someone
you
hold
hear-
the Spiegel up for him, please.
Right? Did you hear the audio recordings that were over an hour and a half long, in which an argument between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard was recorded because Mr. Depp was trying to get her to leave so that he could then go to one of the other houses where his daughter was waiting for him? And are you aware that there are other audio recordings where there were fights between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard, where she caused him to be late because she argues in the same circular way that you do? Is that why you can identify with Miss Heard?
He reminds me of the one. I think this guy was a psychologist in the Arias trial, the one who evaluated her and gave her presents and books and stuff.
Yeah. Just wait. Just wait. I don't even know why I've got to. This is not a sprint, babe. This is gonna be a marathon.
Oh, okay. I should. That, in other words, let the guy talk.
Asking me if that's
Well, no, I'm just saying this is just bad. I don't want to get out on my good jokes. I've got to pace myself.
And I thought it was based, at least in part, on the manner in which he testified.
I'm sorry, what?
On the manner in which he testified.
On the manner. I'm sorry. I'm not being difficult. I can't hear. I'm sorry. On what?
I was asking you about the cognitive decline testimony that you made.
Yes.
And it was my understanding that at least a portion of that testimony that you rendered was that you derived some evidence of cognitive decline.
I'm having cognitive decline right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I said. Yes.
Right. And so all I'm asking you is, don't you think it's a good idea when you're in the middle of a court proceeding to answer questions carefully?
Again, professionally, we diagnose patients with a neurocognitive disorder.
Huh?
By gross
That wasn't the
evaluation.
question.
That was absolutely not the question.
Age normal controls. I'm just saying, age normative controls does not put a 58-year-old gentleman at that processing. That's all I'm saying. Right. All I said.
And you derived this without ever once talking to the man.
Exactly, Lamar.
Me directly talking to him. Because we know how I derived it. So you're talking about me directly talking to him?
Yeah, you never talked.
No, I never. No,
I mean, did you talk to the notes that you were reading? Did you talk back to the deposition the way I'm talking back to yo ass right now?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that the entirety of Dr. Blaustein's medical records are 12 pages of handwritten notes.
The important part was what I said. For me, as an example of cognition, which I'm trying to prove, which is what you asked me, the important part was what I said. And that was irrefutable.
Okay.
The important part is that he gave the mini mental status exam.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's talk about the mini mental status.
I can't.
Scored on a 30-point scale, right?
Yes.
I'm about to fail a mini mental exam right now.
Basically, it's most often used for Alzheimer's, dementia, those kind of testing.
It's an exam that tests cognition in all psychiatric illnesses, not just
Yes,
Alzheimer's.
but you
It was
wouldn't
made
typically
for dementia
use
for
it.
Alzheimer's, but is the standard, has been the standard for testing cognition in all psychiatric illness, substance use disorders included.
Okay. Now, there is an element of that exam that requires drawing, correct?
Yes.
So you don't know what drawing Mr. Depp did or whether the drawing should have been fully scored.
I wasn't questioning his visual spatial perceptual skills, which is what that does.
Right. And you don't know what score Mr. Depp received on the exam.
I was very specific. I know 3 words, not remembering at 5 minutes. That's all I said.
3 words, not remembering 5 minutes, and he remembered one of them, right?
From what I'm saying, you remember any of them.
All right. Memory on the exam. Out of the 30 points, what's it worth? Three. Three, right? Memory is 3 out of the 30.
Yeah, memory is 3.
Okay.
But again, the memory section in and of itself tests memory. That's the only question that tests memory. Only section that actually tests memory.
So the memory section tests memory. It's the only section you're testifying.
The memory section
For all
tests the
you know,
memory. What?
With respect to the
That's
exam that you're
crazy
relying on,
talk.
Mr. Depp scored 27 out of 30.
And that would be telling, though, cognitive, if you score 27 and 30 and you miss 3 points on memory. That would be very telling.
You don't know if Mr. Depp had been up all night the night before.
Again, you wouldn't expect to not recall any words in 3 minutes unless there's a cognitive issue.
I
You don't
can't
know if
recall
Mr. Depp
any
was
words
high.
you're speaking right now.
For
And again,
really.
well, now that's
And I have an
again, now that
excellent
could affect
memory.
but I'm not refuting that. I'm not refuting that at all. He could have been high, he could have been drunk, he could have been using cocaine, and that would absolutely affect his memory. Which is what I said. Yes, you're right.
So ultimately, you have no idea what state
What his
Mr.
mental
Depp was
state
in
is.
at,
Yeah.
at the time he took the exam that you're relying on.
Short of what you just said about drugs and alcohol, okay, there shouldn't be a reason why a 58-year-old also with strokes and other neurocognitive conditions. But short of that, there shouldn't be a really good reason why someone at that age shouldn't come up with at least one. But an answer,
But wait a minute, you started that question with short of drugs and alcohol and spent 35 minutes talking about his use of drugs and alcohol. Isn't that right?
oh, I'm agreeing. What I thought I agree with you. I think I agreed. I said that drugs and alcohol
Wait, you don't know if you
absolutely
agreed or not?
affect cognition. I'm not sure. Yeah,
I
agree,
don't
but
think
I'm not
you
sure
should
that's
be
right.
evaluating
I
me.
agree with
No,
you.
thank you.
All right. So you don't know.
Camilla's keeping
One
her
way or
eye
the
on the
other.
jury, just
How
Yeah,
kind of
she is.
engaging them.
You don't know whether he
Mhm.
was at the time on drugs and alcohol.
Hey, Mark
But you're gonna
Klein, good
rely
to
on it.
see ya.
In your testimony to say that he's cognitively impaired.
Which is what we do in clinical medicine, sir.
Okay. You rely on tests.
Clinical
Don't know
medicine.
when it was administered. You don't know the score of the test, and you don't know the state of the person being tested, but you're going to rely on it anyway.
Craziness.
Again,
Crazy.
if we had to know every test, when people get the mini mental state exam, we have no idea clinically if they are high, wasted, stoned, stroke. We have no idea. So if you're going to say that, that means everybody needs a drug test before they do a mini mental study, and that's not the standard of care. And I think you know that. So.
Yes, that's true in the real world, but
Let's
you
talk
are
a
in
little
court.
bit
And,
Right.
This word you kept using,
oh my
correlation.
God, I can't.
You know the word, right?
No.
Yes.
Correlation and causation aren't the same thing, are they, sir?
No, they're not the same thing.
No, how are they different?
Correlation is consistent with causation, means direct link.
Can you say that again? You were so fast I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry about that. Correlation is a risk for something happening. Causation is a direct link.
Right. So just because something's correlated doesn't mean it's going to happen.
100%.
Right.
100%.
But lung cancer, for instance. Smoking is
Running
very highly
around with
correlated
scissors.
with lung cancer, right?
Yeah, and there's certainly a link to lung cancer and smoking.
Right. But not all smokers get lung cancer.
High criminality.
High
No
criminality.
one, like I said, no one fits the curve perfect.
And not all smokers get lung cancer, and not all
Made
people
repeated
with lung
testimony
cancer are
and
smokers.
To all of us do this. All of us do that.
Mhm.
Your suggestion about all of us is
All
you're
of us
looking
don't do
at
certain
the
things.
world as a sample and not at any particular individual, correct?
What I'm looking at is that I'm not talking about an individual, how they can or cannot be resistant. What I'm saying is invariably, when you use substances, this is going to happen. Now, is there a 0.05% chance that someone who does? Absolutely there is. But is that medical degree of certainty? Absolutely not.
A 0.05% chance of what, sir?
Of eventually developing symptoms. If you're using excessively, eventually you're going to develop symptoms.
But risk factors tell us nothing about any one particular individual, do they, sir?
No, again, risk factors tell us nothing except that if they have it, they're at a higher likelihood of developing it. That's
Right.
what tells us.
But you did a whole litany of risk factors relative to IPV.
Yes.
Right. And none of those risk factors tell us anything specifically about an individual.
Other than they're at higher risk. Right.
Right. So someone could have every single risk factor for IPV and never commit IPV, right?
It would be, again, if you're going to say a medical degree of probability, the answer is they will. But if you're saying uniformly, the answer is no.
Right.
Some of us have worked through our shit and know how to keep our hands to
IPV
ourselves.
can occur without substance
Yeah,
abuse.
some of us can regulate our own emotions.
Someone can abuse substances without ever perpetrating IPV.
Again, absolutely. But again, you are saying different than what I said. I did not say abusing substances. I
Watch
said
your
substance use
processing
disorder.
speed.
Watch it.
They are
Yeah.
two different things because there are surely.
I
people
think
who
you
use
need to
substances that
change
do
your
not engage in any
processor.
violence, do not become psychotic, nothing at all.
You're
So
running
that's
on the
Absolutely true of
old
people who have
Intel.
substance abuse
Yeah.
disorder. There are
You need to
certain
upgrade to the
people
Pentium
who
Gold or
have
whatever the
substance
newest
abuse
one is.
I
disorder
know,
who don't
right?
commit IPV.
You're on the
correct?
Pentium
We
4.
are saying people who have substance use disorders. The majority of them over 50%.
4?
So over 50%. So that's
Four?
The answer is yes.
as you said. Not everyone who smokes gets lung cancer.
So there are significant numbers of people. You said it was over 50. So you'd say 40% of the people who have substance abuse disorder don't commit IPV.
And those are the ones that do not have IPV risk factors, right? So we're talking about people
Wait a
who
minute.
don't.
Isn't substance abuse disorder and IPV risk factor?
Oh, yeah. These are other people that don't have other risk factors, right?
So what he's saying is if you have one
But again,
risk
we're
factor,
talking about people in
I
general.
get it.
You don't know anything about any particular individual as to whether anybody's going to commit IPV.
if
If
you
statistics
you can't
follow through, all we
predict
can
it,
say is
you can be
more than
keeping an
50%,
eye on it.
70% will. If you combine more risk factors you have, the more likely you're going to develop the illness. If you smoke cigarettes once, that might not correlate to lung cancer. If you smoke it chronically, that might. So
Right.
that's
But
all I'm
we're
saying.
talking about individuals here. You either have lung cancer or you don't, right?
If you're smoking,
Right.
right.
You
What?
either commit IPV or you didn't.
I mean, yeah, you either did or you didn't.
I mean,
So
Yeah.
took some issue
Did
with
you
me
do
because I
your
was
thesis
asking
at
about substance abuse
Coachella?
generally, and you wanted me to talk about the disorder.
no, he did his
I
he
asked
did
you
his
earlier about
thesis on
narcissistic
Adderall.
personality disorder. You haven't made that diagnosis. You just talked about the traits,
And
right?
and he
And somebody can have these narcissistic personality traits and substance abuse disorder
Oh, okay.
and never commit IPV, right?
So along that line, about 80 to 90% of people who commit IPV have a personality disorder. So the answer is less than about 10%.
Wait,
Obviously do not.
¿qué?
Que pasa, Mufasa?
There
What
are
you said?
more
You what? For really?
close links with
How did you
Aren't
get
IPV
you
that
normal?
statistic?
for borderline personality disorder
Let me check your
than
math.
narcissistic personality
For
disorder.
really?
Correct, sir?
I'm not going to agree with that.
No.
I'm not saying there are more links. I would say to you, there are absolute. If you're asking me, there are links. The answer is absolutely. If you're saying to me more, I can show studies that yes,
Well,
that
part
has
of
not been
borderline
absolutely
personality
verified.
disorder, literally
No,
one of the
absolutely.
symptoms is fucking up every relationship you have. That's literally the definition.
Um, that's in the DSM-5. You fuck
Mhm.
up every
MDMA.
relationship ever. Oh,
Yeah.
now we're gonna get to
What is
now
it?
we're gonna get to the ecstasy. This is my
ecstasy.
favorite part.
Yeah.
Oh, mine too. Not
And
wait, what?
What's the normal dosage of ecstasy for people who use ecstasy?
Again, I couldn't tell you the quote unquote normal dose because honestly speaking, no one knows what they're getting when they're using it.
As
It's not
I
regulated,
said,
so-
there
Right.
actually is a therapeutic
effects of
dose of
ecstasy
MDMA if you
enhance
kept up with the
sense of
research.
well-being?
Sir, you can go to
At low
maps.org.
doses, the answer is yes. I'm going to gather when you're using it at higher doses and develop tolerance, you develop the sympathomimetic effects, which are not so enhanced well-being.
Huh?
Increased extroversion. That's the symptom.
Again, at low dose, you are 100% right. At low amounts, you are 100% right. It is an entactogen. We feel closer to people. That's what people who use it say. They feel close to people, warm to people.
Oh, you're not speaking from
100%.
personal experience?
With
Okay.
continual use and higher doses, it could be fatal.
I don't think so,
Right.
girl. I
So
think
that's not well-being. I don't know if I
MDMA would balance him
So
out.
continued use at higher
He
doses.
would
he
find a
MDMA can be fatal,
baseline.
correct?
He would be more empathic, that's for
What if you
sure.
take 8 to 10 tablets of MDMA?
What if you took again, you don't know what it's very hard to say that. You don't know what it's
Okay, look here.
what's the word I'm looking for? Contaminated with. Okay.
mean
can't
cut?
just say, hey, let me just take 8 to 10 pure ecstasy and see what happens. That's not gonna happen. So
There
what
is
I would
no
say to you,
pure
again,
ecstasy. What is he
because
talking
substance
about?
abuse are unpredictable. They are not regulated. No one knows what they're going to. No one absolutely has any idea.
So now you're saying that
whether
the
it's going to cause
manufacturers
an
of
adaptogen effect
ecstasy
at very
aren't
low doses,
good at their
or is
job?
going to cause the
They're just
sympathomimetic
willy-nilly
increase,
sprinkling ingredients together, no
not just
consistency.
stimulant, like cocaine, something we talked about like that. No one knows what's going to happen. It's not regulated. And no
What
one
do you
knows
mean
if
no
you're
one
using
knows
other
what's going to
substances either,
happen?
like other stimulants,
Or if you mix it with alcohol.
or if you mix it with alcohol. No one knows
If you
it's
mix it
gonna
with
be
alcohol, you
potentially
ain't never
worse.
going to get drunk.
Right. But this is a potentially lethal combination.
One thing
8
at a
to 10
time.
MDMA
This, okay,
tablets
this is
and
a this is a potentially toxic combination.
Right.
Can it kill you? Yeah, I mean, it is a potentially toxic combination. That's true.
Ever heard of someone cutting off their own finger on MDMA?
Have I ever heard of it?
Yeah.
No, I can only give you one example.
Hadn't seen that one before.
I
Okay.
ha-
Have a
So,
good night, Seth.
Seroquel. That one puts you to sleep, right?
if you want a phrase a barbiturate putting you to sleep, then the answer is yes.
Yeah, you heard Mr. Depp talking about sometimes being on the nod, right?
And again, I think I explained Seroquel very well this morning.
Oh,
Good. I'm going to ask him a few
Correct,
more questions.
Amelia.
All right.
you need to
You
explain
could
it
make
now.
references
He's
to
asking you
street
now.
value. Why were you doing that?
Yeah.
Because that's why people with substance use disorder use quetiapine and Seroquel.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
That's why people who use quetiapine or slash Seroquel can get it sells on the street because it's so barbiturate-like in effect.
Right, but you said that Mr. Depp had a prescription.
There are many substance use disorder patients who have prescriptions for Adderall and quetiapine from their doctor, and that doesn't mean they're not getting high out of it. That doesn't take much. Doctors like to believe what patients have to say. They're not going to go in there being.
I don't think his
expert
Gatorade is
witnesses. All I'm telling
regulated.
you is that
Yeah,
people with substance
really.
disorder, it is not uncommon. And the thought was initially that because quetiapine was not addicting, that it's safe to give in people with substance use disorders. When in fact, we absolutely know it has street value. Absolutely know that for a fact.
Right, but my point about this is you made a bunch of testimony about street value,
I
but you knew at the time you made the testimony.
hang on.
that
I
Mr.
gotta
Depp, in
pause
fact,
this.
Had a prescription.
You're hurting
Okay.
my brain. I think DTC, there is record of Johnny Depp being given Seroquel during the detox. Also, I agree. The Gatorade needs to be put into evidence at this point. I need to know what is in that Gatorade. So I'm curious. Yeah, but I think that while he was in detox, I think Dr. Kipper did prescribe him Seroquel for the withdrawals. And go.
He also had a prescription for oxycodone and roxicodone. Does that count? Because that's also probably not a good thing. Just because you have a prescription doesn't mean
I
that
think Mr. Depp
doesn't
would agree with you it wasn't a good thing.
just because you have
Which is
prescription
why
doesn't
he
mean
tried
you
to
can
get
use it.
off.
No, I'm not suggesting you're abusing it. I'm just wondering why your testimony was
Night,
anyway
Seth.
tied to street value when every single drug you referenced, Mr. Depp had legally.
Again, you can have prescription substance abuse, and we know that, correct? I shouldn't be asking that. We can have prescription substance use disorders, and that's
No,
not
yeah,
uncommon
you
in the
shouldn't be
world
asking that.
that we're living in right now. We can have that. That's not an uncommon thing. Unfortunate, but uncommon. Not uncommon.
I mean, are
So,
you advertising yourself
Seroquel,
as a
think you described
prescription
as a
writer for
sleeping agent when
Seroquel?
used off-label?
See, if
When I
we
saw
were
it-
using
Sleeping
Dr.
agent, Seroquel,
Spiegel
when
as
used
an
off-label?
example in
You-
a class, we would see behavior consistent with impulsivity control issues.
Where he just lashes out and says whatever comes into his mind, like that?
Yeah, like his ability to cognitively filter his thoughts versus what comes out of his mouth,
Right.
is a little bit
It's off-putting.
yeah. So
It's also discombobulated because he doesn't take time. I don't understand. He doesn't take time to hear. I mean, obviously, he hears the answer, but he doesn't take time to process the answer or the question and then contemplate the answer. He just immediately
he
answers.
doesn't listen.
Right.
He doesn't listen. He just
Responds.
responds. Correct. And that could potentially suggest someone whose processing speed is what?
Not good. Slow.
We don't know because
We
that's
don't
not
know.
how we evaluate processing speed.
I need to see him in a movie. You got any like, were you an extra or something?
Please, yeah.
Let me check that out and I'll get back to you about your processing speed, as it were.
Off-label, it's used. I can be used sleeping aids. Yes.
Right. So Mr. Depp's use of Seroquel could account for some of the photos we saw in this trial where he's asleep in a chair.
Again, what I would say to you is that if you have a substance use disorder, you are using it to be knocked out. Yes, I agree. But I'm not sure at the end of the day if she had vomitus over you either. I've never seen Cerebral do that.
Well, it wasn't vomitus.
So
It
when he
was
passed
ice
out in the chair, he
cream.
also had vomitus over him. I've never seen Cerebral do that ever.
What
LOL
you're right,
Skyflash.
there's another one of the
Skyflash said he would, or
drugs you
she, I'm
testified
sorry,
about.
would
That
pay
one's
him to counsel
also,
all of their
prescribed,
romantic
right?
partners.
Yes, it is.
And what's
He's
What's it
Melanie
used for?
Gibb with a
What's its indication or what's its
PhD,
use?
what's its indication?
they say.
Its indication is for seizures.
See,
It
look,
may have one
now
pain
there's
indication.
more
I'm not
hairs
a
that have
neurologist,
joined the
so I can't
fight.
tell you exactly if it does, but
Oh,
it's
for
chronically used
sure.
off-label for pain. It's used
They're
off-label for
standing
anxiety.
up.
Right. And
They're
what's
really
its
trying to
effect?
ward off this
That's
the
another.
book.
That's another one that'll put you to sleep, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, 100%.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And you made reference to a picture. There's been testimony around that picture that Mr. Depp fell asleep with ice cream in his hand. That's not vomitous, right?
I was told it was vomitous.
Okay.
Oh,
You
no.
talked about the fact that Mr. Depp
He's
indicates that
board
from time to
certified,
time
babe. He can write
he uses
scripts.
an earpiece.
I read that, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you
Did you?
read the testimony of Mr. Wyatt, who told you what was being pumped into that earpiece?
Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, I mean, I think it was lines, right?
No, it was
No, it was
music.
It was music, not his lines?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if
So-
Mr. Depp was listening to music,
Wait a minute. I'm going to have
rather
to
than being
pause
fed
this.
his lines, does that change your?
Okay. You made your expert opinions based on the, what is it? Relative evidence. Is that what it's called?
Indirect? Or wait,
No, he based this doctor based his professional opinion of Johnny Depp on the what is it?
collateral?
No,
Collateral?
something evidence. I feel like it's like relative evidence. It's all the evidence that was entered in this trial. Okay. I don't know what that's called. I can't remember. I knew it earlier
Okay.
today, but he hurt my brain.
Mm.
Okay. And in that capacity, then you would have read the material which you're now discussing, which would have been the earpiece. So the testimony was that what was in his earpiece was music. And now you've clearly been proven that it's not his lines that are being fed. So what other things did you read and or interpret in
Exactly.
correctly in your analysis, Mr. Man?
Exactly. Which is why,
Yeah, this is problematic. Amber, girl. Now I know that you hired this guy because he's smart and local. Okay? But next time, don't get your expert testimony from Groupon. Okay? Don't go the cheap route. Because he's a smart guy, but he's not good in court. He's not good at trial testimony, which is where you're at right now, which is the most important thing. And go.
Opinion as to his cognitive function?
If he was never fed his lines through the earpiece, which I know he was.
How do you know
Right.
he was?
And that may have been that example. Mr. White may have said that it was music. I guess the question is, were you having the music during the actual talking of your lines? Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, if you can do two things at once, that's a pretty high cognitive function, isn't it, sir?
It's a very good point. Actually, divided attention is something humans have a lot of trouble in. So, for instance, we have trouble driving and putting on using our cell phones.
I'm having no
divided attention,
trouble.
Humans actually are not very.
I'm
good at.
listening to
I'll
what
put
you're
that out.
saying and reading
But
you
in
for
general,
filth at
not
the
just Mr.
exact
Depp.
same
But
time.
Mr. Depp is pretty good at acting. You acknowledge that early on,
Absolutely, well, better than me. So I know that.
because you don't act. In fact, you don't know about acting,
You're right. I have no idea about that.
and you don't know how prevalent the use of earpieces are in acting.
Again, I know nothing about acting.
Irrespective of the fact you know nothing about acting, you've testified that Mr. Depp's use of an earpiece is somehow a cognitive deficit.
So if I was giving a lecture and I was fed my lines, I would think there's a cognitive deficit. So and maybe I'm wrong. Like I said, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe Hollywood stars get lines fed to them through earpieces all the time, and I don't know. That could be. It sounded to me to be.
which is why you shouldn't conclude shit.
Correct.
And
If you
such.
haven't,
I do lectures and
right.
it never happened.
Why are
If
you
you gave lectures,
stating
you wouldn't
things
use
as
it.
fact if you don't know? You cannot draw conclusions from faulty data. And in this situation, the data was available, but you interpreted it in motherfucking correctly. See, I'm doing a fabulous job at multitasking. I'm running this stream, watching chat, listening to the bullshit coming out of your mouth and reading you for filth. What's my processing speed?
If you're not going to tell anybody.
10.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Boom.
I said, if you gave lectures, you wouldn't use an earpiece, but you're not telling anybody how to act.
Right, I would not use an earpiece during lectures.
Right.
But I don't know what the standard for standard is Hollywood is for that. I have no idea.
I've literally
Standard
heard people
care in
say,
Hollywood?
Your testimony
Did
about
you
Right.
the
say
use of an earpiece.
that's what he said.
As,
I
maybe you were wrong. You're comfortable with.
Do you think an actor gets a
No, because I think
script
in the
for an
face of
entire
the
movie
threat,
and
I'm
memorizes
comfortable.
every piece of
I
it?
don't believe that
He just
actors are routinely
said
given an
no, he
entire
doesn't
script.
think he's wrong.
I find that-
Wow.
Yeah,
But-
and
but-
there's not one whit of evidence that this ever happened
I-
here.
guess
What
I
is
said.
in
I
that
just said I find it
Gatorade,
hard to
sir?
believe.
Is that
I didn't say
Gatorade
I
cut with
find it hard to
vodka
believe.
or
That's all I
Everclear?
said.
You're getting
Yeah, but
awfully
what I found
spicy.
hard to believe, sir, was that every line of the script was pumped through an earpiece. Where did you ever get the idea that occurred?
That's what I read in the court review, the court evidence. That's where I got it from.
And you know whether Marlon Brando used an earpiece?
Isn't he dead?
Yeah.
So the answer is no. He does not use one now.
No,
Yes,
I used
Johnny.
the past tense.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep it together,
I know
Chew.
nothing. I will concede to you. I know nothing about acting. I will concede to you 100%. If that is the standard and people are done that acting, then I apologize and that was wrong on my part. If that's the standard, I'm wrong. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow, we were.
let's go with that. No further questions.
All right.
Wow,
How is your
we
break?
were.
A bit. You may want to take.
All right, let's go ahead and break for lunch then, ladies and gentlemen. Again, do not do
All
any
right.
outside
I'm going to
research. Do
skip
not
the
discuss
lunch,
the testimony
obviously.
with anybody, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Mhm.
Like the backyardigans. That's bad luck.
That's probably why Amber hired him, because he sucks and he's probably, one of those doctors. Like one of the Courtney Love doctors where
Right.
she would get roofies prescribed to her. Like, what
Correct.
the fuck?
Why is this not
Psycholo-
actually moving forward?
Turns were
Oh, here we go.
Why should-
Here comes. Okay. Now, let me just say
Release the
I
record, Adam.
didn't actually watch this part because I couldn't, frankly. But let me tell you the setup. All that now, Elaine, the cat lady, Elaine is fixing to come back in here and try to
Mhm.
wrangle this all, walk it back and tie it up in a nice bow. Meanwhile, instead of 5011 hair standing straight up, we're now at the 11 billion mark and the eyebrow is furrowed. This is not looking good.
Not at all. I
I
see
don't-
the reflection. The sweat glands are in perfect condition.
Yes, I don't have. Listen, I try to be a glasses half full kind of gal. Hey, Crystal, aka Boss, BGS. I can't read.
Mhm.
Are you seated? Your next question? or read
Yeah,
it?
Thank you.
ugh.
Dr. Spiegel, you were asked about whether you were able to examine Mr. Depp. Do you recall those questions back and forth?
Yes.
And so if I understand your testimony, you asked twice. for Mr.
Elaine,
Depp
nobody
to
understands his
do the interview
testimony.
by
Stop
you, correct?
playing.
Yes.
Objection leading.
And
Overruled.
and then in addition to that, Ms. Heard requested twice of the court for Mr. Depp to be submitting to an examination of you, correct?
Yes.
And those were denied, correct?
Yes.
And now Mr. Depp is contending that it's unethical for you to provide an opinion in this case because you didn't get an opportunity to interview him. Do you think that makes sense?
Exactly,
Objection, Your Honor.
Skyflash.
I'll sustain the objection.
I think Elaine's been flirting with
that
him
your
this whole
understanding?
time
That is my understanding of it. yes.
Okay.
for the script.
When counsel for Mr. Depp was reading.
I
to
don't
the
mean
Goldwater
to
rule, there were two
say
words
this in
that
like
you
a
went over
mean
pretty
way,
quickly. I'm
but
gonna go over them again
Elaine's
with you a little bit
face
slower.
looks
And that was that the
photoshopped
Goldwater rule
on. Like, it
was
looks
that
more
you cannot make
pixelated
an
than the rest
armchair
of her
diagnosis,
body.
right?
Her what?
Objection.
Based on
Face?
Yes.
That's because
available
she's
records. Do you recall that?
Yes.
her hair
Now,
is
the
from
records were
1982.
In this case.
Hold on, let me
Were
just
private, were they not?
excuse me a second, Elaine. So rude.
I know.
Sheesh. I think Elaine's face is looking pixelated because it's framed by a 1982 haircut called the Dorothy Hamill. Get to Googling, y'all. It's an ice skater. I think she was at the 1980 Olympics. I don't know what I know it was the 80s, but I was just like little then.
Yes.
And in fact, Dr. Blaustein's records were
Who?
marked confidential, correct?
Yes.
And his deposition was marked confidential?
Yes.
Okay. And
All
Dr.
right.
Kipper's records were all marked confidential?
Yes.
Objection leading.
And
I'll sustain.
okay, what if any labeling?
Here
was
we
on
go
Dr.
with the
Kipper's
what
What
if
if
any.
any? Oh, hell
Okay,
no.
I've got to stop again. I'm sorry, Elaine.
Confidentiality agreement, so everything.
Okay, Elaine, I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to school to be an attorney. I didn't get my Juris Doctorate, and I sure as hell didn't pass the bar exam. In fact, I've never passed a bar in my life. Just kidding. Anyway. Anywho,
I can't.
I've been studying this trial, okay? And as such, what do you suppose, Elaine, the ratio of what, if any, questions don't result in a objection leading, and then you rephrase it again with what, if any? What, if any, does not negate a leading question, Miss Ma'am? Please stop using it, okay? I mean, come on. Don't you know, don't you have different forms of questions you can ask?
That was confidential.
Okay, so that in fact does not even comport, that doesn't meet the restrictions. that were put.
Objection leading.
I mean, so would it be fair to say that you have not?
I mean,
Would it be fair?
opinions
Let me just
in this
continue to
case and
keep
for
leading
this
you.
Based on publicly available records?
I have not rendered any opinion based on any publicly available records.
Thank you.
bruh, you said you
No.
saw
You
him do a
did.
commercial.
And
And an
interact with the
apology.
media.
Diagnosis or
And an
Wow.
pirate, but not Willy
exhibited
Wonka.
narcissistic
Wow.
traits or had that disorder. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes.
All right. And the question was asked of you of the whether if you have 5 of 9 narcissistic traits. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Now,
5 of
one
9.
ones
Are
you
we?
testified
Are
before
these the
was
the
for narcissism,
kings
it
from Lord of
requires
the Ring?
admiration, correct?
Yes.
What if any record evidence was there that Mr. Depp requires admiration?
The very people that surround him need to admire him, or they're no longer in his employment or his working circle.
Okay. The
Oh.
second one that you discussed was sense of entitlement. Do you recall that testimony?
Oh,
Yes.
he comes
All right, what
across
record
as
evidence is
super
there that Mr.
entitled
Depp
while he's
exhibited-
letting
exhibits
Amber Heard's
behavior of
entire
needing
crew
sense
live
of
in his
entitlement?
penthouse rent
So
free.
again, thinking that Ms. Heard was marrying him solely for his money and his influence, and that was the case, was, in my opinion, very entitled.
All right. And the third one you discussed was exploitative. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Wow.
exploitative.
Wow,
Record
wow,
evidence that
wow.
Mr. Depp exhibits behavior that are exploitative.
Again, I think the whole concept of abuse is exploitive.
Oh, did he
The
leak
fourth one
press
was lacks
pictures
empathy. Do you
of
recall that?
abuse
Yes.
to the
So
What is
he's
media?
record
taking
evidence that
so
Mr.
he's
Depp
taking the
exhibits lacking
assumption
empathy?
Mm-hmm.
To be able
of
to,
Amber being a
admit
like
that
he
they were
didn't
violence,
he
they
does he
eventually
doesn't
happened to the wife.
know.
I'm sorry.
Correct.
Depp was never like
Don't be heard.
convicted. Like what the?
Ah,
I can't.
Christ. Yeah, this is.
They
This
just
is.
wanted to approach.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like I'm. Wowie, wow. I left the bikes
I'm just gonna
with
ask
my
you to
soul down
give
the
record
street.
evidence of Mr.
Be a
Depp's
lamb and collect them
lacking
for me,
empathy
would you,
that you
Dr. B?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I got
My
you.
lap-
Thank
my
you,
lap-
babe.
Yes, just,
Okay.
just
I'm
a little
still
different than what you said
snacking.
before.
Okay. So
That's it. Harness
If-
your chi. Get it together.
if one does, so I'll make it more direct. So if you're not agreeing with what Mr. Depp has to say, you are no longer useful. Okay. Therefore, you don't really care about others for others. You care about others for your benefit. So often on dismissing Dr. Kipper, for Dr. Kipper setting some boundaries on substance use protocol, substance detox, is an example of lacking empathy and not really caring what other people have to say.
All right. Another one of the
No,
characteristics that you cited was
not.
envious. Do you recall
What
that?
the
And
hell?
what is the record evidence that Mr. Depp exhibits envy?
I think jealousy is a good start for that. I think that Ms. Heard wanted
Harry
to have a
Planner
career.
detective,
Start with
yeah.
that.
Hey!
That
and
would be
the jealousy
me.
parts of with Mr. Franco and
Good to see you.
I think others comment this week. Last week Ms. Burston commented about things about jealousy. So I think it's pretty
And the next one.
Oh
you
my
listed
God,
was
Paula,
fragile
that's
self-esteem.
hilarious.
Do you recall that?
yeah.
And what is the record evidence of Mr.
How
Depp
much did
supporting that?
So fragile self-esteem would be
the
more along lines of
defendant
betrayed,
pledge to
as
pay
Right.
you?
Did she, yeah. What's do you use the term
and basically
pledge
what
and
that means would be
donate
that the
synonymously?
combination of poor self-control and rapid mood states is fragile.
I say
self-esteem,
poor
fragile
self-control, where Johnny's
So it's
sitting
always
very
like cluster
calm,
B
cool, and
rather than per se
collected,
no
watching all of
All right, now we've seen Mr. Depp during this trial
yeah,
doodling and
yeah,
eating
yeah,
candy.
doodling and eating candy. Look, Elaine, he's a smoker and it's an oral fixation. Come on. Um, go on somewhere else with that bullshit. But conversely, when Dr. Curry was on the stand and talking about Amber Heard and her having a cluster B personality disorder, i.e. histrionic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder, what was Miss Heard doing? Well, Miss Heard was taking notes on post-it notes that were pressed so hard. I've already covered this in my other video where I've examined what was Amber Heard writing, and what she was writing was all work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Because hello, she was also in The Stand. It's a Stephen King reference because she crazy. I don't know crazy, but I know karate.
What if any?
What if any,
evidence would that
leading?
suggest that he has
Here we
narcissistic
go.
traits?
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. She's
Now,
like, okay.
You
She's like,
were
fuck it
asked
at this point.
about the cluster B, and counsel for Mr. Depp came back and said,
Correct,
are
Max.
you aware Ms. Heard has
That's
been
literally.
diagnosed with borderline
Yes.
personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder? Now, you reviewed, I think you testified at the beginning, you reviewed the therapy and counseling and medical records for Ms. Heard, correct?
Correct.
Oh,
What,
he
if
did
any,
then. I stand
evidence was
corrected,
there that
Dr.
Bonnie
B.
Jacobs
Say what?
diagnosed Amber Heard with either
I was
borderline
not
personality or
listening.
He
histrionic
did
What did he
personality
say?
disorder?
He did
Objection, Your Honor.
review some of
That's fair.
he did review therapy and counseling records from Miss Heard.
Oh, well, that's even worse then. Oh
Cor-
my God.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I know.
can't.
I can't either. We're all counting with you.
Fair cross. He asked the question. That's fair. Redirect.
It's beyond the scope.
It's not
Overruled.
Thank you.
So if I can start, Ms. Jacobs demonstrating no type of personality sort of borderline or otherwise. And on a review of Dr. Curry's
Objection
records,
beyond the scope of the question.
I'll ask each of them separately. And you also reviewed the therapy records for Ms. Heard for Colin Cowan, correct?
yes,
What if any evidence was there at any time that he diagnosed Amber Heard with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder?
not only did he not, he referred to Mr. Depp as a narcissist.
Okay. Now, you also reviewed all of Don Hughes' records and her testing, correct?
Yes.
And what, if any, evidence did you find in any of that extensive testing and note-taking that she had found that Amber Heard had borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality
Bruh,
disorder?
Elaine's
Objection, leading.
questions are a whole ass
What if any?
paragraph.
None.
I
What if
know.
any
And
is
you
still
also reviewed
leading?
Dr. Curry's notes and her testing, correct?
Yes.
All right. And what, if any, evidence did you find in any of Dr. Curry's testing that Amber Heard had either borderline personality disorder or
Well, he
histrionic
would have to
personality
have
disorder?
the
She had
testing
traits, she did not
material
meet
there.
her own evaluation. She did not have the full endorse enough.
How do
criteria
you
for
know?
borderline
Did you look at
personality
the
disorder
raw test
and/or
data?
histrionic personality.
Shut
She definitely had
up. Oh my
traits.
God, this is
She did
making me
not have
mad.
the disorder by going by the strict
Let it go.
number.
Just
I
let it
can't.
out, Dr. B. We're just
Now,
gonna
you
let it
mentioned
out,
in
all of
response to
us.
Mr. Depp's counsel's questions, you started to talk
The
about
book,
battered wife
you are
syndrome.
testing me.
What is your experience with battered wife syndrome, sometimes being mistaken
Oh
with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder?
Objection,
So-
compound and
Mm-mm.
leading.
Yeah, for really.
So battered wife
Elaine.
syndrome, which is more subsyndromal or not quite PTSD, has many symptoms of PTSD. And if you hear some of them, you'll see why someone might think that. They do have reliving experiences as if feeling as if the abuse is happening, even if it's not upon reminders of abuse, such as getting ready to use something,
Hey,
illegal
Nonstop Mom.
substance or something along that line. They do have hyperarousal. They do have hypervigilance, which is very easily mistaken for the emotional reactivity of borderline personality
Okay, so how do
disorder.
you
They
distinguish?
do have
How do you
feeling
distinguish it,
symptoms where they
doctor?
avoid,
Yes, Dr. Tell
emotions,
us.
activities,
How do you
people, and that
distinguish it?
can't be happening. They start becoming
Oh
much more
my
anxious,
God,
much
I'm
more
getting
aroused.
nauseous.
I know, me
They
too.
have disturbances in relationships.
I'm so glad you're up
which
here
clearly
for
can
this,
be a
though. I'm
condition,
sorry that we're having to
intimacy,
test your
problem, again, which
patience.
could also resemble borderline personality disorder. So those descriptions and
But
traits
we
that
here
are
at the
there,
ward believe in
aid in
submersive
the
therapy.
borderline
Yes.
can very easily be explained.
Exposure,
Exposure therapy.
desensitization.
Thank you. Now, you also indicated earlier that
get the full
reviewed
experience here at the
deposition of
ward.
Amy Banks, correct?
Yes.
And what, if any,
Spiegel,
declarations did you make
shut the
based on
fuck
her
up.
deposition from her meetings
Dr.
with Mr. Depp
Spiegel,
and Ms. Heard?
shut the
So,
fuck up.
Dr. Banks is a professor at Harvard, the leading institution in America for medical schools, who's an expert on intimate partner violence.
Beautiful.
She had a chance to meet them in a relationship counseling.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
That's not
I don't
said
think
what it
drinking
was
helps
finds.
nonstop, Mom. This
right.
fool's been
Tell
drinking
the jury
Gatorade
about
this
Amy
whole
Banks
last
and tell them
time,
what
and
you're
it's
saying.
just
what
gotten worse.
Dr. Banks found was that she fully believed Ms. Heard's version of what was going on.
Objection, hearsay.
I reversed those. Let me do it again. Please tell the jury.
I reversed them.
Please tell the jury what about the qualifications of Dr. Amy Banks. This is the one who saw both Ms.
Oh.
Heard and Mr.
Elaine, you're
Dr.
like
Banks is a
your reverse
professor
is
at,
like
an
equivalent to
assistant
calling
professor
times.
at Harvard
Times.
University Medical School, one, if not one of the two top medical schools in the world, who specialize in intimate partner violence. She is, above all people, who understand if someone is victim perpetrator, because she does this, researches this for a living every day, and that's her qualifications. Can I say what
So
she
you're
reported?
saying
Then I'm going to ask
that
you, what, if anything, did Dr. Banks indicate relating
Oh,
to histrionic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder for Ms. Heard?
Dr. Banks didn't mention anything about personality disorder at all. What she did mention was whom she felt gave a more accurate version of.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's the objection?
That's
Hearsay.
credibility testimony.
I think you can testify to that.
That's
yes.
That's why you asked the question, Elaine.
What, if
That's not an
anything, did
a
Dr.
compelling
Banks report, not
argument
saying what the ultimate
against the
conclusion was,
objection
what, if anything,
raised.
did Dr. Banks say about what was reported to her by Ms. Heard and Mr. Depp and how they responded?
So Ms. Heard discussed in trying to, again, as a victim, trying to save the relationship, discussed with Dr. Banks these accusations, these facts of intimate partner violence. Mr. Depp.
He's already
Objection,
labeled
hearsay.
her as the victim.
I think he's entitled to rely on hearsay, and he's not giving what ultimately was. He's entitled to it. That's
If
my.
you can rely on hearsay, but you just
but he's giving it as a fact. Like, you
Correct.
can't do
All right.
that.
What, if anything, did
Fudge.
Mr. Depp do in response?
Mr. Depp said nothing. When Ms. Heard accused him of intimate partner violence, Mr. Depp said nothing.
And
Oh,
what is
that
the
must be-
significance
Objection,
of that?
hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right. And what is the significance of that?
Significant of that is with
Objection, no foundation.
Sustain.
All right, we'll move on. You were asked.
Yeah,
about
you're gonna move on.
MDMA and what the impact could potentially be.
You're
of
gonna
taking
move
8 to
on to
10 of
having
these
no
pills.
job.
Do you recall?
yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to take you to Australia 2015.
Oh,
You
he
reviewed
doesn't
testimony
seem like
over
he
that, right,
travels
Mr.
well,
Depp,
Elaine.
Ms.
Don't
Heard,
be
and a
taking
number of-
him
okay.
nowhere.
Um,
Oh,
were you?
Thank
do
you
recall
Thank you,
very
that
recliner
Ms. Heard also
detective.
said that
I
she found
appreciate
dime
that.
bags of
Thank you.
cocaine in drawers at the end of that 3 days.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask
Jen
you, Sue,
Lou's
can you
my
bring up
spirit sister.
1828? It's already in evidence.
Dr. B is my spirit sister. She is the peanut butter to my jelly. And the
She's
only
the
reason I'm
cheese
Okay, we
to
can
my
continue.
cracker.
only reason I'm jelly
I'm
is
going
because
to-
I'm
this is one of
45
the
and some
pictures
stuff
that
is
was
shaking
taken
that
in
didn't shake
Australia, and
before.
Testimonies being that the two canvases of Ms. Heard's were painted completely over. Is that something that could be the impact of having 8 to 10 tablets of MDMA and combining that with
Are
cocaine and
you
alcohol?
Objection, no
freaking
foundation.
kidding
Speculation.
The foundation's already
me?
been laid, Your Honor. That's
What is she asking?
I don't know.
what, if anything, if you look at the painted
Okay.
canvases on this one,
Stop, pause,
what, if
stop,
any,
pause, stop, pause.
evidence is that?
Oh my God. Is she asking him to evaluate his art?
I think she's not okay. Oh God, I hate you for making me defend fucking Elaine.
No, no,
Elaine.
no. Don't. Before you get there, let me phrase it differently.
Okay, yeah,
Is
reverse.
she? Yeah. Let me reverse. Let me pull an Elaine.
Elaine.
What if any?
Objection.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing Elaine ask is if this Dr. Spiegel could look at this artwork
Right.
and opine as to someone's state of mind while creating this artwork.
I think yes, but also what she's asking is the artwork has already been created and was then painted over. And so
Mhm.
what does that behavior indicate? And I'll tell
That
you,
he's gonna reuse the canvas.
or exactly, that he's unhappy with the product and he's decided, I'm going to start his own reverse, as
Oh
it
my
were.
gosh. I'm seeing a lot of parallel reverses going on.
Correct. I'm very
You know,
concerned from this point.
it's very, running in circly like, kind of like
Nonsensical bullshit.
what cluster B personality types tend to do to people,
Mm,
get them running wild goose chases.
mhm.
So that's very telling of the effect Miss Heard has on her environment.
Correct.
Because the two people that are defending her right now are,
Running in
yeah.
circles.
Oh.
Mhm.
That reflecting behaviors indicative of taking a lot of MDMA, cocaine, and alcohol.
Objection, speculation, no foundation.
It's the same question. Sustained.
That's pathetic.
You testified earlier about destruction of property. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay, could you tell the jury how that relates to the correlating factors of risk factors for IPV?
Whose
Again,
property did he
destruction of property is
destroy?
a form of psychological,
Right?
That makes a
restraint. And
difference.
so destruction of property is used as intimidation and as means of control.
Okay. Michelle, can you bring up
Oh
1829?
my God.
And this has already been admitted. Yes, thank you, Your Honor. And what, if any, evidence does this reflect as correlating behavior to risk factors of IPV?
I don't
I would
know,
say that
working out
one, that
issues,
demonstrates a good deal of violence,
journaling.
psychological
It's
abuse.
it's art. It's
Clearly
like
just trying to
your
be
First
intimidated.
Amendment,
Well,
like your
he
freedom of
okay,
Objection, Your
expression.
Honor.
let me give you the backstory on this. So this is a
Oh.
lampshade from Australia. This is
Mhm.
the aftermath of the argument that led to the finger being cut.
Mhm.
And what Amber Johnny Depp has said that he did do this. He did write these words on the mirror, on the lampshade there, and I feel that. So that's what it is. And really, the truth of the matter is this is when he was detoxing, and not Australia. That's a lie. This was on the island. Yeah, where yeah. So right? No, yeah, he detoxed. Where did he now see, you got me all confused.
But it doesn't matter.
It
What I'm saying is you can't draw
Right.
conclusions from this lampshade and this one incident about someone um, about domestic violence pattern
No, you cannot.
or chronic domestic violence abuse or whatever, and certainly not just from one incident where obviously like man, this is making me
I know, it's
all
making my teeth
sweaty.
itch. Yeah, it's very
Mhm.
annoying because they're trying to draw parallels. This is what I mean with her team,
Yes,
making
that's
attempts
the
to
circles.
connect dots that don't actually connect. And that's
Right.
why it's a big old mess.
Right, because they're incompetent or at least seem incompetent in like telling the story in an effective way.
Correct.
If they wanted to turn Amber Heard into a victim or whatever, like they have the resources at their disposal. Um, the the fact that they couldn't put together a good defense team sounds like a personal problem of Miss Heard's.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
Thank you,
And
Justice.
these people need
It would
to
be
get new careers or something,
Correct, or try again.
or not
Go
do these high
or
profile
go
cases. Like,
back and watch this trial with a what's the word I'm trying to say? Because now they've got me all kind of discombobulated. But bottom
it's
line,
around that
they need,
time mark too for us where we kind
yeah,
of begin to evaporate.
right. They need to look, like, go back, like football players go back and watch a game. You need to go back and watch this trial and learn from your mistakes.
people who
It's
would
fine to make
misuse
mistakes.
ecstasy,
It's not
with-
okay to
without coke-
repeat them.
Without cocaine are prone to agitation, suspicion, jealousy, violence.
Yes, I called her out
What
for
we're seeing
wearing
there would
Colonel
be very
Sanders'
consistent
tie
with that
and
presentation.
5678. Sure
Thank you,
did.
Michelle. Can
I
you note
noticed
enough
that
18,
immediately. Of course I
30,
did.
guess? And that's already been
'Cause
admitted into
I'm
evidence as well, Your
petty.
Honor. I'd ask that it be published. And what, if any, evidence does this correlate with
Oh my
behavior
God.
indicative
Get it
of
out,
Can we
Elaine.
please,
perpetration?
can we
Again,
fast
this is
forward?
intimidation, psychological abuse.
I don't know
I
what else
can't.
to fast forward. It's
Objection,
almost
Your Honor, can we
over.
be heard?
Oh, okay.
His
Never mind. I
testimony is
thought.
almost over. Yeah, I just
Okay.
wanted to watch this part.
Okay.
And here we go. We're up at the bench. There's no charcuterie tray, Elaine, so I don't know why you keep on going up there. There doesn't seem to be any snacks being served. Just out here doing the most, Elaine. Just out here doing the most. For no reason. Let me put it on 2 times so we can get through. Oh, too late.
Dr.
And-
Spiegel, if you can answer the question, what
I want to point this out real quick, too. This is an excellent point, Paula Walking. Yes, Amber Heard wrote stuff in red. So if we're going to, what's good for the goose is definitely good for the gander. And so if Johnny Depp's writing on lampshades is indicative of some type of personality disorder, the fact that then wouldn't, by default, Amber Heard writing things on mirrors and lampshades also be indicative of personality disorder? They would. That's what I thought. Rest my case.
I have a, like, for example, I have, damn it. You got it already. See, my brain is now
If any
catching up with
evidence
what you
exists
just said.
correlating to risk factors
My
might be
processing
appropriate?
speed
Again, I
is
think violence comes through.
currently
Objection,
a
Your
little
Honor.
bit slower than.
Just the
Vote
evidence
is right.
of
Well,
risk
we're
factors,
getting
aren't
towards
you?
that
Evidence of- I'm
point
sorry,
with
evidence of
us.
risk
We're at
factor
the
would
2 and
be,
almost 2.5-hour mark.
accepting an more than average
Yeah,
degree of
the
violence,
book
as
is.
well as
The Dubuque is
psychological
creeping and he's
abuse.
starting to win a little bit.
Are you
Oh
aware
no,
of any
girl! It just takes a lot of
record
energy to
evidence of Ms.
keep
Heard
that
writing on walls, mirrors,
Repress.
right.
or painting
Yes.
canvases?
At bay.
No.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. You can take that down now. Now, you were also asked about Seroquel.
Oh, for
Um,
fuck's
Oh
sake
my
with the
God! If
Seroquel
I
again.
hear
prescription
Seroquel
medications.
again,
Did you, during the course
Seroquel,
of your
of
review
all
of
of the
evidence, see
medications in
lists
the
of
world, that's the
medications
least
that
fun
Mr. Depp was on
medication.
at one point?
Well,
right?
Michelle, I'm going to ask you to bring up Defendant's Exhibit 301.
Hmm.
And Dr. Spiegel, it's not into evidence yet. I'm going to ask you to take a look at this. Is this one of the documents that you had that reflected the amount of medication that Mr. Depp was on as of October 26, 2014?
Yes.
Okay. And this was an email from Debbie Lloyd to Dr. Blaustein, his treating psychiatrist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you tell the jury that we've got Seroquel 50 mg? Can you just
Objection,
tell,
hearsay.
can you just tell the, I haven't finished asking the question yet. So
maybe don't cut the judge off when she's speaking, Elaine. That's very, very poor courtroom etiquette, ma'am.
Mhm.
I don't want to tell you your job, but somebody needs to because you ain't doing it good. At all. Oh, brother.
Mm.
This is going to be one of those. They're going to be up there for a minute.
I think if you push your like arrow buttons,
They
I
keep
think you
telling me that, but I'm afraid to do it.
So I can see all of them at the same time.
I
it
need
just
to be
skips
better.
10 seconds
Dr.
forward, so
okay.
you
Siegel,
can
if
play
someone
like
was
that.
taking
I'll try that.
Try
next.
it.
I will try it. Okay.
Go for it.
I'm doing it.
Milligrams of Seroquel, 25
Oh, I have to
milligrams
be
of
on the right
Seroquel,
tab. Haha.
Yes.
50 milligrams of Seroquel.
So obviously,
There you
Oh.
go.
it's not for sleep.
Look at me.
5. Okay,
So
and
what I
so
would say
you
is just use
it's
it for
skipping
one
5
purpose,
seconds, but
as
if
I
you
say,
keep
substance
skip,
use
obviously
disorder.
it increases.
That's
There
We
you
don't
go.
care
You're
about
welcome.
Seroquel. Thank you.
That was exposure, by the way.
Making me do it.
Mm-hmm. And you did it. Yay.
Now, in ADHD, this medicine is very effective. But from what this is being used for, clearly based on the combination,
Clearly.
All right. Do addicts lie?
No, they
Yes.
lie, deny, and cry. There's 3.
Now, you were asked about Mr. Depp passing out. Do you recall reading testimony of Mr. Depp passing out in the bathroom in his vomit?
Yes.
Okay. Does that help refresh your recollection of what you
Yes.
recall?
I
All right.
mean, for the record book, I don't think that falling asleep with ice cream on you is a much
Objection
better
beyond the
reason.
scope of the question.
Sure is.
Keep going.
I don't
Does
think
what
taking Seroquel at night
refresh his
and falling
recollection? She
asleep
didn't
with
even.
ice cream on you is not what Seroquel is indicated for. It's not meant to put you out in a state where you don't even be able to stay awake to put ice cream away.
All right. Michelle, if you can pull up defendants 1090.
Except that I don't think
It's
that
already in
was
the
a Seroquel-induced nod. I believe that
We can
was
publish that to the director,
prior
Your Honor.
to treatment, and
Dr.
this
Spiegel,
was a
Does this look like, I
roxicodone
mean, would this be
induced
evidence
nod.
correlating with behaviors consistent with IPV perpetrator risk factors?
This would be correlated a person who is completely knocked out, and it's usually only one way someone gets knocked out that badly, and that's with pharmacological assistance, whether it be legal or illegal.
I
They
don't
make it to
know.
where they
LL
don't
Cool
sleep in
J
their head
could
on
probably knock you
a
out like
game
that.
box
He wrote a
with
whole song about it.
furniture. That doesn't happen to people who sleep, no matter how tired you are. No matter how tired. I've been a resident in the past, and I was up for 40, 45 hours.
Objection beyond the scope.
How many days were you up today before this
All right.
testimony,
Michelle, can you
sir?
pull up 1095, please? And I'm going to ask you the same question, Dr. Spiegel. What, if anything, does this indicate relating to risk factors for IPV perpetrators?
Again,
I don't actually know
colloquially,
that
that's
one,
now
Smalls.
is
I think they're
like that
interchangeable.
without pharmacological assistance,
Okay.
legal or illegal.
I think one is the brand name and one
And
is
then
the
1094,
generic.
please, Michelle.
Like
Defense
Norco
counsel
is the
admitted.
brand name for hydrocodone.
And now we have the ice cream picture. And what, if any, indication does this have?
Probably could see how I could.
Objection, speculation, no foundation.
What, if any, correlation?
Ask-
What, if any, evidence does this indicate?
Yeah, just
correlative with the risk factors
keep
for
asking the
IPV?
same question.
This proves one of the major risk factors and precipitating
Yes,
factors. For,
Max, this is what they're
reproductive
asking.
violence.
Objection,
You are a
move to
substance.
strike.
All right, sustained. I'll strike it from the record. Next question.
We'll just move on.
Yeah, let's just
You
move
were
on,
asked about
Elaine.
earpieces. Do you recall reviewing Tracy Jacobs and Joel Mandel's depositions?
Yes.
All right. And do you recall them both testifying that Mr. Depp had someone on salary to feed him his lines?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you've testified that you reviewed a substantial amount of evidence in this case. Did you find any evidence that Amber Heard exhibited conduct or behaviors indicative or consistent with any of the risk factors for perpetrators of IPV?
Objection beyond the scope.
Sustained.
Well, it was suggested with the borderline personality.
Sustained.
She answered you,
You
Elaine.
did find that for Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And did you find record evidence that Mr. Depp had a substance abuse disorder?
Severe substance use disorder.
All right. Did any of the questions asked by Mr. Depp's counsel change any of your opinions in this case?
Nothing there. No, not my opinion has not been swayed in iota.
Okay. Do you hold them all still within a reasonable degree of medical and psychiatric probability or certainty?
Absolutely yes.
Thank you very much, Dr. Spiegel.
All right, thank you. Sir, you can have a seat in the courtroom or you're free to go. Thank you. All right, your next witness.
My next witness is Catherine Arnold.
We don't want to hear about Catherine Arnold. No, thank you. We're going to take a pass. I voted for all of us. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of dissociated. there for a sec.
Yeah, my soul has done left my body. I don't know if it's even with the bikes anymore, or if it was like, I don't even,
Yeah.
don't send Dr. B for me. Don't have her be a lamb to collect me. I'm not coming back. I done had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So basically, in a nutshell, this did nothing really to help either side, quite frankly. And what the jury will remember is the argumentative testimony back and forth between the psychiatrist and Johnny Depp's lawyer, and that's it. Because
Well, and the fact that he was apologizing for
misstating, getting it
or
wrong.
for misdiagnosing, mischaracterizing, whatever.
Right.
Depp could turn around and freaking sue him now.
I
and
mean,
add him to the
exactly.
mix. Like, what do you mean I'm a narcissist? Like,
Right, exactly. How you gonna
based
say
on
that?
Willy Wonka. And,
No, not
and
based
not
on Willy.
based on Willy Wonka. Just for that.
Which
You owe me
why
the
didn't he
damages.
base it on Willy Wonka? Because if anybody's watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they know that there's tons of flashbacks in Willy Wonka related to Willy's childhood and his father being a dentist and depriving him of candy. And so what did he grow up to be? The best candy maker in the whole effing world. I mean, that's a whole Freud thing, I'm sure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. So why you didn't watch Willy Wonka, that might have been a better one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really base anybody's mental health on Pirates of the Caribbean. First of all, pirates do what pirates are gonna do. The code is like guidelines, so they're gonna do whatever the fuck they're gonna do any damn way. He's clearly got sun damage and too much rum, and that rum isn't regulated back then. You know, they didn't have the FDA back in pirate times, okay? So who knows what they were getting? Kinda like MDMA? So how
Mm-hmm.
you gonna judge on Jack
Mm-hmm.
Sparrow,
I
who
don't
was a
know.
pirate and also a good man? Keira Knightley said that like 37 times.
Mm.
Bruh. All right, you guys.
This was a
This
lot of fun. Thank
was.
you so much. Wow, that was
No, thank
a roller
you.
coaster for sure.
Thank
I had
you.
fun though. Thank you. Thank you. You know, I
Thank
love
you. No,
to
thank you.
go on and on and on forever about this kind of stuff. This is right up my alley. So, yeah.
I'm not sure. This is a good question for Dr. B. Freudian is issues with your parentals, but sexual. Yes.
Mm, no,
Not always.
no.
Not
Peter,
always.
no home. Well, let me see. That's the misconception about Freud. While he did explicitly use the term libido and sexual energy, I think it's being misconstrued by or mistranslated or whatever over the
Interpreted.
misinterpreted, thank you, over the years and over time and whatever. But what he actually means is just that impulse to live. You know, it's that duality of basically fight or flight. Like we all have it. He's talking about the amygdala before bro even knew what the amygdala was. How's
Yes.
that for a badass?
I do enjoy me some Freud. I do.
Hmm. And then, he was on a lot of cocaine. So he did think it was the miracle drug. And guess what?
What?
We're pressing it into a pill and calling it Adderall and giving it to our children.
Correct.
So he was on to something there as well. So
Ahead of his time, Freud was.
very much so.
The world was not ready for Freud.
No,
I
that
bet he would
was
do really great
just
now.
just like the world wasn't ready for Dr. B in general.
They sure weren't. They sure weren't. That Dr. Dre and Eminem of the YouTubes, they weren't ready.
And well, guess what? In 125 years, motherfuckers gonna be studying this exact live. So, chat, say cheese.
Cheese.
You're on camera.
Oh,
So much
boy.
fun.
It was. It was.
Now, if Spiegel was here, he would say that we are quite narcissistic. But
yeah.
Spiegel, I'll take it.
Whatever. There are times when I'm proud of myself, as I should be. I have a healthy ego.
Thank you.
All right,
You're
you
welcome,
guys.
Smalls. Yes, thank you so much for having me, Jen. I'm gonna stop interacting now because I don't read social cues well, so I don't know how to end
This
this.
was like the best because we did like serious analysis, right? With a little roast.
Exactly. That's how we roll.
That is how we roll.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. I will say goodnight. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be streaming at 9 a.m. because I don't think that I don't think Amber Heard, I haven't watched the whole rest of the trial, or today's, I'm hoping they rested tonight because for Pete's sake, can we just get to the rebuttal? I mean, bruh, they only have till Friday. Okay. Amber's team has
Good.
4 hours left for rebuttal and 2 hours for closing. And Johnny Depp's team has like 8 or 6, I think, 6 or 8, and then 2 hours for for closing arguments. So let's see what they do with it. All right, you guys. I will see
All right.
y'all hasta mañana. I'm not gonna have that engraved on a knife and give it to you guys as a gift, like Amber Heard does. Only she says hasta muerte because she's the devil. All right, I'll talk to you.
I'm just gonna say bye.
Okay, bye. I'll see you guys later. I'll see you in the morning. Be safe out here on these YouTube streets. Thanks everybody for coming. Thank you for the super chats. Okay, bye. Good night, everyone.